Ladies and gentlemen, the time you've been waiting for is now here. The first official Go Mommy Podcast tier list episode.
Yeah, we saw this tier list that someone made of Faye OCs circling on Twitter, and we decided that we would do it ourselves, but in a video format, and kind of like hash out our opinions on...
I think we're gonna agree.
And what she means is that tier list was complete trash. We're gonna correct it because it was
Why was
garbage.
Sharina so low?
Shout outs to that guy. Your tier list is garbage. We're gonna make a video that's even better than that.
There were a few
Make sure
Great
you link them in the
tier.
video in the description below so everyone can comment about how bad it was.
Oh my god, you guys are really
Wait,
harsh.
did they delete it off Twitter?
We're gonna bully them off Twitter.
Okay, so
Look, I just
say...
want to like get the temperature right. You know what I'm saying? Like get the atmosphere going.
We gotta
We're gonna be
start
very
off
harsh.
spicy because it's good to have a common enemy because soon we're gonna be at each other's throats. I feel.
Exactly.
We're
That's
gonna
true.
do them all by book, with the exception of Loki and Thor, who are going in between.
Okay, so, does anyone want to share their placements?
Let me just say, A for Alphonse. Okay,
Yep.
discuss.
Yeah.
A for Alphonse, that's where I put mine too. I actually put him at the top of A. Reason
did too.
being,
Me
he
too.
gets the most character development out of all my other A characters.
Yep.
Followed closely by Sharina. Sharina doesn't get as much in the story, but she does have like personal output. Then
Interesting.
I also have Veronica in A.
Okay, I also have Veronica in A, so I have Alphonse as the first in A, Veronica as the second in A. I have Sharina in S tier. S for Sharina, A for Alphonse. And then
Not shocking.
I have Bruno in C because he really hasn't been around that much, but I feel neutral about him.
Yeah, I have him in C as well. Like I like him, but like he hasn't been involved enough.
Yeah.
I put Sharina in A and Veronica in A because I like them. Alphonse, I know he's the most developed character, but sometimes, like, I also just don't care.
Why?
Yeah, like
Well,
in book
tell me.
5
Shut up.
and
Shut
4,
up.
though,
I'm
he's getting so
sorry,
good.
Alphonse.
Wait.
I
shut up.
always
Why
spell
don't you
his
care
name
though? What's
wrong,
the
too.
reason?
Yeah,
Why
so
don't you
here's
care?
the...
He comes off kind of whiny sometimes.
Whiny?
Why?
Really?
Whiny.
He doesn't.
Yeah.
He's
When?
more stoic than anything. He's like
Yeah, he's... I
don't know.
I
grumbles
look at him.
angrily. All
Yeah,
right,
he
we
just
won't-
kind
I
of grumbles angrily, and he's just
He's
kind
like,
of
I'm so tired of putting up with all this.
Yeah. I'm just like...
I mean, just his interactions with Dagger have been great.
Oh, no, I think he's the funniest part of Book 5. Like, unironically, he is the funniest part of Book 5.
I agree.
Yeah. But I don't know. And it might just be because I kind of jumped into it and kind of jumped in
Right.
into Book 5, because that was basically the first time I started playing was when Book 5 came around.
You haven't really given
Right.
yourself enough time to
Yeah.
really get to know him and his character and everything. Yeah. Okay.
You need
well,
to
like,
treat Alphonse like a fine wine, you know?
seriously though, he's had like when I first saw him, I was like, this guy sucks. He looks literally like every other character. He looks like Marth 26
Yeah,
from
he's-
number 5. Like he looks exactly the same but worse. But then you get to know him, and he's actually had more character development over the past like how many years has it been? Like 4 or 5 years?
Yeah, we're
Something
going
insane.
on, yeah.
And
4
he's
years,
really
yeah.
shown. I think it was really Book 3 where he stepped out of his boring, like generic vanilla hero.
It's like the
Yeah.
stakes suddenly go up for him so much,
Yes.
and like he's one of those where he makes mistakes and was instantly basically punished for it. Like
Yep.
during
Yeah.
the beginning of Book 3, like you are going to die.
And
He
here's
gets
the
away,
interesting thing.
but he still loses. You know.
And
Yeah.
Shut Up says like he's whiny, but when that happened, he didn't whine. He tried to find a way to correct his mistake.
Yeah.
He tried to.
Like, it was
he
just-
never felt bad for himself or sorry for himself, and I think that's like a really admirable trait. Even though he's the worst dressed character in the game, in my opinion, he looks terrible. He's a great character. He's a great.
Hey,
character.
now that enlightened
I didn't say he was bad. I just...
Side note, I actually think there's an argument to be made for saying that Veronica is the second most developed character in the game.
I agree.
I agree.
Yeah, because she's had, I mean, Book 1, we got so little from her. We knew she was sad and kind of lonely, and that
She was a
just,
psychopathic
like,
little
yeah,
kid.
basically like enacting vengeance on everyone else for no particular reason. But like she's come so far since then. She's basically like, I mean, in this last chapter alone, like Bruno showed up and he was like, please, I need you to help my sister. I know she's your enemy, but you have to help. And Alphonse was like, my enemy? What do you mean? She's my ally.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's
He was
a
like,
good-
no, we get along.
She's a
It's good.
like almost like an anti-hero.
Yes,
yeah.
yes, I agree.
Yeah,
And I think it's
Shadow the Hedgehog.
coming up soon.
Or like
I
a
think-
reluctant
I wouldn't
hero.
call her Shadow,
Yeah.
but
Yeah, and honestly,
Okay,
I think.
she's Rouge the Bat then.
Oh God, no. I think also her and Alphonse side by side. Like I have Alphonse first in A tier, and then immediately after it's her. I feel like her and Leaf and Thrassie or whatever, they kind of have this interesting relationship in this alternate timeline that makes their characters that much stronger, especially when paired with each other. So
Yeah.
just
yeah.
wait
For me,
to see
like-
where I put Leaf and Thrassie then.
yeah, that'll be interesting. But as somebody who started this game from day one, I always
Yeah.
thought Veronica, like, she wasn't the most interesting or compelling character, but she was a good villain. I like her design. I think she's cute. I love her alts, especially the pirate one with Xander. Amazing.
Truly
no,
iconic.
I think she's just a solid character. Definitely A tier
Yeah.
for me.
Now that you said that, I'm moving her up one. Not
Oh,
to
really?
S, but below Alphonse.
Oh, okay.
That's
gotcha,
fair.
gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Sharina, you guys have her in S and A, is that correct?
Yes. Where did you
I'm
put
debating
her?
dropping her to B.
I got some
No!
bad news for you specifically, Manic. Sharina, I think, is adorable. She's super sweet. She's great. I love her design. I like her alternates. But she's a B tier, and here's the reason why.
Not a B tier.
Here's the
like gets shafted in the story.
Yes,
Here's
it's not
my
her fault.
counter argument and probably why I think she's an A. One of the places where her personality really shines, or just a little bit hidden, is in the Meet the Heroes.
Oh,
Yeah,
you're
that's
right.
true.
That's a
You
good
get a lot
point.
from her there, which
That's
keeps her an A
true.
for me.
That's a good
Yeah,
point. Oh,
and
I
I
think
think-
that's a good point.
The comics and the Meet the Heroes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Adorable.
Oh my god.
Okay.
Think of
And
her freaking.
I love her
That's
in
true.
those.
Think of
Well-
her crying over Riss because she loves him so
Wait,
much
now
and
that
he's
you
her
mention the
best friend.
comics, where's
Yeah.
Kieran on this list?
Oh, you're right.
real.
Where are we?
Kieran's S tier next.
Okay,
Kieran's
well,
great.
to play devil's advocate, I think you guys have sold me. I might bring her up a tier, but to play devil's advocate, I feel like her time to shine was in book 4 because Alphonse
Yeah.
had his in
Yeah.
book 3, and he totally shone. She was the central character, arguably next to Peony, or whatever the hell you want to call it. But that was really Peony's story, and it didn't really feel like so much Sharina's. I don't know, like.
One of the
She
things
didn't-
that it was also kind of a weird, is she, isn't she type story that wasn't so
Yeah.
much character growth as much as like, huh? And then at the end it's like, well, we don't know, maybe. And that was the end.
Yeah.
See, I almost blame book 4's writing for that more than I blame Sharina
Yeah,
as a
that's
character,
I think
though.
she's been,
Yeah.
That's
in other
true.
places she's still been strong
All right,
enough.
you guys, just because of the Reese thing, I'm bumping her up behind Veronica. and
Yes,
Yeah.
You
good.
convinced me.
Okay,
Okay,
I'm
and then
happy with that.
Where's everyone's Bruno? Is it pretty solid at C?
D.
C.
C.
It's not his
C,
fault.
yeah.
I think he has a great
I
design.
just-
I
Yeah.
think
He looks
his like
cool.
injured art looks so
Yeah.
very hot. But it's just he hasn't been able to do enough because the game doesn't
No.
give him enough to do, so it's not his
Yeah.
fault.
He's sometimes
Yeah.
he's like a lesser Veronica, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He should be B tier, but he's C tier because he doesn't have enough to do. That's
I put him in D tier just because I don't give a crap.
That's
I
fair.
mean,
yeah.
yeah,
Like,
that I can't
he
really
doesn't do
argue
anything
He
for
hasn't.
that.
Yeah. It's like when he
He's-
showed up
he's
again
not
recently.
there,
It's like,
and-
oh.
I don't know, Kelsey. Have you looked at his injured art? You might change your mind.
Yeah, you like said
Let
it.
me
You'd
go
love
look.
him.
Okay.
Look it up. Look it up. Hold on. We gotta find this
Yeah,
guy.
this is
I don't
similar
know.
energy.
He has big Yu-Gi-Oh vibes for me.
What's wrong with that?
He's
It's
sort
not
of
a
X. He
bad
kind of
thing.
looks like he has budget Sephiroth hair.
Yeah.
Oh my
yeah.
god.
no.
The collar is a bit much, you know.
Look. If
I mean-
we're gonna have shirts exploding, we'll save this for a different tier list. But if we're gonna have shirts exploding, he doesn't do it for me. Okay.
Oh my
Okay.
god. Hold on. You need to make sure you include. Did you look at the bunny one where he's in the bunny suit? He's in a straight up bunny
That's right. I'm
onesie.
dropping into D tier. Forgot
Look
about
at
that
this.
monstrosity.
Look at this. This is
awful.
incredible.
Oh my
I'm
god.
thinking of bumping him up to B tier for that. That's so good.
His abs
Before
are
this
ridiculous.
goes anymore, we should probably move to the next one.
Yes,
All
yes.
right,
Yeah, we've had a
fine.
long discussion already. Okay.
Fine.
All right, Loki and Thor.
I'm putting Thor in low C, similar basis to Bruno of like she just has not been in the game that much and I don't have that much of a sense of her personality. I think she has good potential to be a really, really huge game changer as a villain later on, but we just haven't seen it yet. So C for her. Loki, I'm putting in D and she'll probably be in low D, honestly. I do not like her.
I'm gonna agree with the Loki because
Yeah.
she really just like comes up, is like and screws with things, and then like that's it. Like we don't really have much
Yeah.
interesting. Thor, I'm putting an F.
F.
You
Wow.
literally know nothing about her basically. She comes.
Look at her design.
Her hair, I hate her hair. Her design, I don't particularly care
Hold on.
for.
What? What?
But she does nothing. She comes in and says, I'm going to attack you with 1,000,000 people. And we're like, okay, and we defeat her. And then at one point, she's like, I'm bored. Let's play Loki. And she's like, okay. And that's all we know
Yeah.
of Thor. That's it.
She
Right.
does have booba.
No, I'm not even looking at that. May I direct your attention to the abdominal muscles? See, you can see it through the shirt. She's so like
Yeah, she's a
shredded.
literal
Ripped,
goddess,
yeah.
true, but there's also many other characters that can do that, so.
I mean, it's
Not
like
Loki.
I think it's just
Not
the thing
Loki,
is
but-
like, yes, she hasn't done anything, but because she hasn't done anything, that's not a basis to place a character in
That
F.
Yeah, like
absolutely is.
look at Bruno.
because
Bruno's hardly
Bruno
done
has
anything.
done
You're not
more
putting him
than
enough.
her. She,
Yeah, but
like,
Yes,
Thor,
but
of
not
all the
lie.
char-
Book
of
one.
all the characters on this list, Thor literally was not in the main story. She's a complete
Yeah.
side character, so for that, she's basically nothingness. She might as well
I've
be a
seen her,
random
like-
Embla
Oh my
soldier.
god.
I've
I
seen
cannot
her
believe-
like a
Dang.
couple of times in the side stuff. And
Xenolog
I
stuff,
have
yeah.
no.
Yeah.
I forgot who she was when we were building our
Exactly.
tier
She's
list.
the most forgettable because
So-
she doesn't really even exist besides for gameplays.
Yeah.
She has no
She's
story.
got a great
She's
design,
just a
though,
throw-in
like-
character.
Oh
I'm-
my god! Wait,
What?
I just realized she has a braid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't like the braid.
It looks-
I thought
what?
that was like a tassel attached to her dress. I didn't realize that was her hair. I just thought she had really short hair. Wow, that's so interesting.
All right, shut
Okay,
up. Can you
anyways.
please like shed some light on the greatness that is Thor, please? Don't let me down.
No.
Don't let me down.
No, I'm a letdown. I'm sorry. I put her in D next to Bruno.
Heck yeah.
But it's not that D are like people I don't like necessarily. It's also people that I just don't care about.
Yeah, see,
It's
it's
not
not
that
I hate
I
Thor,
don't
it's just
care
I have
because
no
it's
reason to like
bad.
her whatsoever.
Yeah, exactly. So I do like her design though. I think she's pretty badass looking.
Good. What do you think
But-
about Loki?
I actually like how much she just comes in and is like, haha, I'm gonna screw things up. She's probably the most recognizable villain in the game. So and
It's because her hat
and-
is stupid.
I really like her game mode. So
Yeah.
You like her what?
I
It's
know.
pretty good.
Game
I know
mode,
you
Pawns
hate
of
her
Loki,
game
yeah.
mode, but I really.
Oh,
like
I hate
Pawns
it.
of Loki.
Oh, you just
I know.
reminded me. I hate that. She's an F tier now. Oh my god. Oh.
I think if only because of her game mode, because it was the first game mode that I took to very quickly.
Yeah, that's the
You
only
had
one
it.
that I've struggled with completely. Right. May I direct your
okay.
attention real quick to this art here? And damn, incredible.
Oh wow, they do look very good there. They look very good there.
Anyway,
Yeah.
is it my turn to?
Yeah,
argue?
where'd you put them?
All right,
Let's hear it.
so I was really debating specifically for Loki. I agree with Manic completely. Loki just feels like a freaking like scapegoat, like lazy writing, like, oh, it was Loki all along, and that just annoys the crap out of me. I've never liked that sort of
Same.
plot point in anything, and I don't like her design. I think she's a thirst trap. I just don't think she's interesting. I think she's just
Yeah.
I'm here to cause chaos, and it's like I've seen that character
She's
so many
basically
times.
the Team Rocket, except not likable.
Yeah.
Okay, but that's kind of what I like about her is, you know what she reminds me of? Like, when she just comes in and is like, haha, I shapeshifted, haha, I did this, ha 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 ha. It reminds me kind of Discord from My Little Pony, who is basically Q from Star Trek.
Oh, okay.
Okay, well, as someone who's never watched either My Little Pony or Star Trek, I have no idea what you're talking about.
Like,
So,
from a certain perspective, like, even recently,
She's
like...
just an element of chaos kind of character and comes in and screws things up and then makes the protagonist have to basically fix it or work against it. But yeah, I think her hat's stupid, but I really like her game mode, and I really like that she just kind of is the most recognizable villain. So
Yeah. Well, I had her in D tier until you reminded me of her game mode, so she's now in F tier.
Oh my god.
But okay. So
hey,
now let's.
at least I did something, okay?
Yes, you did. Thank you.
Contributed, yes. Okay,
but Thor, I haven't gone over Thor yet.
yeah, go ahead.
What is she has her own game mode too, right? Is that the
It's freaking
Mjolnir
Roker
Strike.
Siege. Oh, yeah.
Roker
or, yeah.
Sieges?
No,
Sorry,
Mjolnir Strike.
Mjolnir Strike.
who is
yeah,
Roker
Mjolnir
Sieges?
Strike.
That's her too, right?
That's also kind of Thor, I think. TBH.
That's both of them, if I recall.
Yeah.
Okay,
They're just
well,
like,
I like
haha.
both of those game modes, and I like Thor's design way more. I like her kind of like, I'm sick and tired of your shit, Loki, because I feel the same exact way. I think she has a lot of potential, and while I see where Dean is or Demi or Dean or whatever, I don't know, what do we call you, Dean?
Whatever.
While I see where you're coming from, Dean, I still think her potential is like, I think she's gonna show her cards in the coming.
That's
book
one
or
thing,
two.
though.
Yeah.
She literally hasn't done anything, so I'd have no reason to believe she'll do anything.
Oh, I believe it. I think that they're doing a lot of slow builds to
Yeah.
her being like the ultimate big bad. Is
I
what
agree.
I suspect. Because I just feel like, especially with book 4, that we started like, and book 3, we started crossing into the territory of like Alphonse interfering with like the powers of the gods and stuff.
Yeah.
And so I imagine
I mean,
that's
they
gonna be coming
specifically
around.
named some other big bad guy, though, who's really upset. And that was not.
Yes, but that doesn't mean she's not upset too. So
I mean,
we'll
yeah,
see.
I don't know if he'll do much with her, so but we'll see.
Okay, so nobody's been convinced otherwise except for me moving her to
I'm
F tier.
staying
F,
D and F.
or yeah.
All right.
I think
fair
we're
enough.
all holding our ground.
Should we do the
Ice climbers.
My lowest is Gunthra, who I have at the lowest a D, because she literally does
Oh,
nothing
really?
again. She just like exists
Shut-
and then dies. You're like, okay.
What? She did not get burned alive after guiding you through half of the entire damn book, only for you to put her in D and said she did nothing. How dare you? What the hell?
Yeah, I
mean,
think that's a
sure,
little
she
harsh,
gets
honestly.
burned alive, but
And she calls to you from beyond the
that's the
grave
thing. Like
and
she's
stuff. like,
just a character that's meant to like suddenly do a twist. It's like, oh, I gotta have this. Oh, now she's dead. Oh well, I guess.
Yeah.
No, see, I think that she adds a lot of. I think she functions primarily to characterize Fjorm more than anything.
Yeah.
Because as a result of her, Fjorm is going into this whole situation with like already a sense of loss and like so much fear about what more she could lose. Like Ylger's already missing. Hrid hasn't been around. She knows her sister is dead, which like puts a lot of pressure on her too. Because correct me if I'm wrong, but like Gunthra was older, right? So her
Yeah, she's
dying
older.
basically
Yeah.
means like Fjorm is now like next in line
Well,
as
Creed.
far as the ladies
Creed is the
go.
eldest, isn't he?
Creed.
Yeah.
Everybody
Is
forgets
he?
Reed.
No, I do not see it. But yeah, so it's like I don't know.
Also,
I feel
Manic,
like
are you forgetting something? Unless, wait, did they change? Did they retcon what happened at the end of book 2?
at the end of book 2.
Yeah, Fjorm getting cursed
well-
or whatever.
Oh
This
no,
one's
yeah, Fjorm does get cursed. Yes, no, that has not been well, it hasn't really been retconned. It's sort of the door is open for it to be retconned, but I wouldn't say it has been yet.
Okay.
No, it's been retconned.
Has it? Well,
No,
Nifl
they
was
they
like
continued it. Nifl made Fjorm her champion, so then Fjorm
Yeah.
was fine. That's what they did.
Yeah. Well, she was
That
like,
wasn't a
I won't.
retcon, but that's part 2.
She was like, I won't kill you right now, but you have to fight for me as like penance for it. So yeah, not a retcon, but like there has been a payoff for it, I suppose.
Okay.
Yeah. So
All right, who wants to start us off?
Well, Dean gave us his placement for Goonthra. Do you want to just tell us your other ones while you're at it?
Goonthra,
Yeah,
right?
so,
starting with Goonthra.
I have Grid and Niffle both in C below Bruno. Mostly because they're still kind of nothing characters.
So just Goonthra first. I have her in C, mid-C. Again, like I said, I think her main function is just, like, emotional stakes for Fjorm. And then I do think there's something to be said for the fact that, like, she's, like, basically, her spirit is guiding you and pulling you into the whole story in the first place. She is kind of ultimately a noble sacrifice more than anything else, although you don't really know her at the time that it happens. But she's just not around that much, so that's
She's
why,
too many,
similar
like,
to...
tropes that enough that I don't like it. Like, she's basically the woman in a refrigerator for Fjorm.
Yeah,
If something
I guess
bad
to
happens
some
to her, so
degree.
Fjorm feels bad. Like, that's literally what you describe.
Is that actually what the trope is called?
That's
The
what it's
woman in
called.
the
Yeah, it
refrigerator?
is, but also it's funny given that Niffle is like the ice country and stuff.
The woman in the ice country who burned in the inferno. There's just too many tropey stuff. So
I put her in C because she has more consequences to the plot, I feel, than either. Even though Bruno was like an important antagonist, I just don't feel like he's mattered that much.
That's fair.
And same with Thor. So I put her in C. She's just vibing there. She's my first.
Yeah.
I put Goonthra.
I was bouncing around a little bit, but
Yeah, I was debating where to put her as well. This has been the hardest so far, probably. But I agree with you guys. You kind of convinced me to bump her to mid C. I really like her design. I like her summer alt a lot. Her and Legyarn are just like such a. I like them as a pairing, honestly. But
Oh, interesting. Huh.
yeah, and I don't know, like I went through the entirety of book 2, and I remember each week I was like, oh man, what's gonna happen? Oh, this mysterious lady, and then when she got burned like alive, like that was such a horrifying moment. It actually made me feel really bad for her. Like I can see how some people be like, oh well, that was a bullshit.
One thing I do like about that moment from a story perspective is coming from book 1. Like you're suddenly like instead of doing this thing like I'm fighting all these heroes, like someone just got burned alive. So like
Yeah, it's definitely
Fire Emblem Heroes
that's
is taking a
also
dark
tonal
turn.
shift.
I think that
Yeah.
was such an important moment for specifically not even Fjorm, but for Surtur, because that showed he actually meant business. He wasn't just another. Because like Veronica, bless her soul, I don't think she really did anything.
No, she's an annoyance.
Yeah, Surtur meant business, and he showed it by burning the sister of the main, sidekick character alive, which was really intense, really dramatic. So yeah, I'll put her. She didn't really do much, but what she did do, I respect. I think her design's really good. Put her in mid C tier, a little above Thor, but
Okay, so let's talk about Fjorm, since we've already been talking about her a little bit. I have her in A.
I do too.
Veronica.
Yeah, I do as well.
I do
have her
too.
I have her one above
Me too.
Veronica, one below Alphonse.
Oh, really?
Just because I felt like she
Interesting.
got more screen time. So you were talking about it, like all the story she goes through, like kind of watching all that and her pain. Like I think it made a better like character development and like than Veronica's gotten so far.
Yeah,
fair.
that's fair.
And
I
she's
could
had a
see-
lot more character development randomly out of nowhere with these 2 new videos.
That's
released.
helped
Yeah.
as well.
She's
That's
Elsa.
brought her into that memory.
Yeah.
Yeah, which were honestly really, like, both of them were very cute, very unexpected but welcome.
Yeah.
And, I mean, I've thought since the get-go, I think she's adorable. I adore her bridal alt. So freaking cute. And I just think she's sweet, and she was the first time we got a book-specific free unit sidekick type thing.
Yeah.
And she set such a good precedent for that. Like, I think, like, she embodied it really well. I don't know, I just really like her, honestly. Like, I don't have any complaints.
Yeah.
Any...
Shut
I
up
think,
or yeah. You're up.
Oh, go ahead.
I mean, I put her in the same spot as Jeannie, and I think, I don't have as much of an attachment to her because I kind of zoomed through book 2.
Yeah.
I was trying to get orbs, okay?
That's fair.
But book 2 is probably the one I have the least attachment to because I zoomed through it so fast. But I think Fjorm, she's basically like, what's her face from the Hunger Games, Katniss.
Interesting.
I mean, in
I disagree.
I think she's a
But,
little more likable.
well, yes, but like her role
Yeah,
is
I
kind
see
of
it.
like
I see
that.
it.
Like that's how I saw her, is like
She's
this-
willing to sacrifice herself
Yeah.
for her siblings. Yeah.
Yeah,
Get it.
exactly. Not like character wise, but like as a role, that's basically what I have pop culture wise to compare it to.
Right.
And she does. I mean, she chooses to sacrifice herself, and then we got the whole book 2.5 thing going on with the Ice and Fire Tempest Trials, where she's like trying to plead for her life. But
Yeah, and an interesting thing that you bring up with that actually is she's not even really. I don't think she's really pleading for her life so much as she is like, let me just have enough time to help these people
Yeah,
that I care
yeah.
about. And it's not about herself.
exactly.
It's about her
yeah,
friends.
it's not. And
so I heard
yeah.
like her the forging bonds for Lysithea.
Oh,
and her
was
were
really good.
'cause
Yeah.
it was the same
Yes.
concept.
Yeah, both of them have had their lifespan cut short, and it was like,
Yeah.
that's such a specific set of circumstances that I think is like very hard for the average person to understand. So seeing those two characters like kind of be able to connect about that and like find some comfort in each other was really nice.
Can I just say, this game is honestly like, it's come into its own so much as far as the writing is concerned, thanks specifically to the
Yeah.
Forging Bonds.
Yep.
The original characters for this game do such good work in terms of like having connections with these characters that we know and love, like freaking
Right.
Dimitri and Leaf, and like you're saying,
Yeah, I love
Lysithea.
that.
Yep.
It's so good.
Right.
It's just so good.
I do really like that too.
But in terms of my stance on Fjorm, I totally agree with you guys. I mean, we were talking about this earlier on a surface level. I'm not crazy about her outfit so much, like, and her hair is, I don't know. But her bridal design is probably the best in the game in terms of bridal
She's
units.
so
She looks
cute.
so good, so majestic. And I think they did this because, like, I don't know if you guys have noticed, I don't know what your stance is on this, but in terms of, like, for all the shipping fans out there, if I had to ship
Yeah.
Kieran or whatever, however you pronounce his name,
Yeah.
I'd ship them with either Alphonse or Fjorm, 1000%.
Yeah, I could see that.
But
I ship my personal Kiran with Sharina, but yeah,
it's gotta be,
but
yeah,
that's,
okay, fair
that's
enough.
just because I love her, and so if it's
Right.
me, I'm gonna be with Sharina. But
Yeah.
yeah,
But Fjorm, I think she has a lot of development. Obviously, she's been in the game since book 2. She's really devoted to helping her friends and her family or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't think she offers a lot in terms of like having a super interesting personality. Like there's no real moment where I'm like, oh, she made me laugh, or oh, she made me whatever. But she's just a very solid character, so I'm not gonna place her above Alphonse, Veronica, or Sharina. I'm gonna place her right below Sharina, who I have in third. So she's at a number 4 for me right now. But she's really good. I like her a lot.
All right, A's all the way around, it sounds like.
Yeah, absolutely.
yeah.
And then, does anyone particularly have strong feelings for Hrid or Nifl?
No.
Frid, I pretty much put in C tier behind his
Alright.
the oldest.
Frid,
because
yeah,
I
I put
like
him in
his
D
hair.
tier. I
Yeah,
put him
Frid
in
is the most
D-tier.
D tier of D tiers.
Yeah,
I mean,
I have Frid at C
I
tier.
wanted to put him in D tier, but I like his hair.
Okay.
And you know what?
Oh my god.
Toasty-
Frosted tips? Come on.
Yeah.
They're
He's
pretty
got
good.
boy
Toasty-
band energy through the roof.
Yes, that's why I like it.
Let it be known, just as a side note, that like Kelsey, aka Sprinkles, is like the voice of women attracted to men in this group. I'm just generally not interested.
Here's the thing, in reality, like, does anyone actually remember what role Hrid did in any of
Yeah.
None!
It's
None!
funny that you
He didn't
mentioned
do
that.
anything.
Loki.
This
No,
is
no, no.
this is exclusively based on his design.
Yeah. And it's
Like,
funny
he
that
has
you
a
mentioned
role,
that,
I'm
Dean.
just wondering if you remember.
Dean, it's funny that you mentioned, does anybody remember what Hrid did? Because he definitely did do something. It was show up at the very end, because guess who Hrid was the entire, like literally
Loki!
90% of the book?
Loki!
It was Loki!
Yeah.
So all the people who are like, oh my god, Farid is like so noble, so oh what a daddy, so great. That was Loki, like 90% of the book.
Loki, best daddy, belongs in B tier.
I have Fred of
God.
OC just because he's like, I can see him at ID.
I just
put at C
exclusively
as
like
well,
his
just
design. And also, I
Actually,
took a little bit of pity on him because Toasty, when we were talking about this before we recorded, Toasty was saying that he never left his blankie phase. And you know what?
He's wearing his blankie as a cape.
Yeah, I think that's great. And I have a snowflake blankie myself that I have worn as a cape as an adult. Okay?
As an adult. Into battle though? Shut up. Like into battle?
I mean,
Yes.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
What about Niffle? What about Niffle?
Niffle I have mid C just because she's kind of interesting, but like still just a rando that appeared.
B tier because she's Anna Iris Kiana's. Kiana's, I think, is.
Yeah, I have B tier because I think I love her voice lines. I love her design, and I actually do think that the embodiment of like her whole deal is that she's like a very like cold, emotionless god, and given that they're the ice world and everything, I feel like she serves her function well of being like very like unemotional and detached, and that she's an interesting point as far as like the lore and the
Wish
mythology.
we saw more of her, kind of like Thor. Like you don't really see a whole lot.
Yeah.
I think we might in the next 2.5
Yeah.
book thingy.
I
I put her. You guys actually convinced me. I had her in like mid-low C because she hasn't really. I love her design. I think her voiceover is incredible. Like you know, the English voiceover can be kind of hit or miss sometimes, but hers is one of my favorite for sure. Her design's so good. I'm gonna bump her up to the top of C tier. I don't think she's strong enough for B yet, but I think she's really good.
But I just can't put her above Bruno yet.
Oh, I have. Yeah.
Okay.
Bruno's in the back of C for me.
Yeah, and so that just leaves Yilger, right?
Yilger, I have a B.
I love Yilger.
Really?
I think she's
I
hilarious.
think she's adorable.
She's great.
Really?
She's
I
great.
love
Have you seen
her
lines?
dynamic with Hellbindy. Like it's
Yep,
such a
absolutely.
Oh.
great,
Yes,
it's such
it's
a
so
great
cute.
dynamic.
Yeah, I agree.
do
if
actually-
you do not
I
put
forgot-
them together, then you're like, get out of here, please. They are
I did-
like the perfect.
I did forget how funny they were together, and that he was like really sweet with her, and like she complimented him a lot. So yeah, I was probably being unfair. I just think she's annoying.
What?
What? Is Alphonse whiny for you too?
No, I just think
Wait,
she's...
Manic, have you seen her or have you heard her voice lines when she attacks? She's like, boring, boring, boring. It's like so.
Yes, it's so
It's such-
adorable.
She's
so
like a
jarring. She's like
4-year-old
murdering
child.
these dudes. She
All
murders
right.
dudes, and she's just like, I'm bored. And it's like, what the hell?
Yeah.
I mean,
And she's got the shovel, and she bludgeons people to death with her
She
whip.
was
I think
my
as far as
accidental.
Bjorn's
She
siblings
was my
go, she's
accidental
the-
first Forma unit.
oh lord.
I didn't know.
Amazing.
I didn't know that Formas were so limited, and you had to pay for them. And I had a free one, and so she's my Forma
Oh,
unit.
girl, that's so sad.
That's
But you
precious.
guys
Look,
did
I
kinda
was a
convince
baby.
me.
Okay, I'm
Also-
I
sorry.
think I'll...
She was super interesting because she's like one of the. I think she's the only person who shared a banner with one other 5-star. Was her and Surtur. I don't think they've ever done a 2-star or a two-man 5-star banner ever since then.
Yeah, that is
so
weird.
interesting fun fact.
Okay, so you guys convinced me. I'll move her to bottom of B tier.
Good.
I
Sounds
feel
good.
okay with that. Yeah.
Should we do the fires next?
Fires? Yeah. Fire
Should we go with
time.
Hellbindy since we just did Yilger?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Put Hellbindy right below. Put them together.
Yeah.
Oh, so
Oh,
you're putting her. You're
well-
putting him below Yilger.
No. I like him way more.
Yeah,
I'm
I
putting
think
him
he's a
top
better
of B
character,
tier.
personally.
Yeah.
His design scares me.
Yeah, but
yes,
that's
but
a part.
the point.
That's
the
intentional.
point.
Yeah.
I know, but
I could see him on either side, but I still think.
Okay,
like,
here's
there's-
the problem. Shut up. Here's the problem. You didn't play through book 2, like you said. You skipped through
Look.
it. He has a really tragic arc where, like, basically he's fighting for his little sister, who Yilger reminds him of, and she
Okay,
it
I
ends up
forgot
that she
that. Bump up.
died, and so
Right,
he's like,
but-
"All right, I'm gonna kill Surtur now," which is like insane.
I can't stand his face, Toasty.
But that's
God.
not as important as his personality.
Yeah.
Come on, she doesn't
Same
remember
thing.
his personality because she
Look.
skipped book 2. Remember?
Hold on. Okay, shut up. Where did you put Yilger on your list, and where'd you put Hellbendy?
In B tier.
Okay, they're like the ultimate duo. They're like the
I put them
Batman
together.
and Robin.
I think
I
we
put
both.
them
I think we
together.
all just have them both together. So.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
No,
Yeah. Don't
I
take
have-
Robin from
I
Batman.
put them
I mean-
just below Alphonse.
I have
Alright.
Hellbendy at the top of B and Yilger at the bottom of B with 2 people in between them. But they're both
Okay.
in B, so they're still together. It's fine.
Yeah, they're my only bees, but they're together. Hellbendy top. So
Oh, you're only bees.
my only bees.
Yeah, that's kind of wild.
Where did you
Kinda
put Levitane, I wonder?
Are we doing all of them right now?
I just placed them
Oh, I
all.
thought you guys were like, okay, let's fire. Like, all right, where's Hellbendy? I'm like, oh, okay.
Oh, wait,
Sorry.
we placed them all? Oops.
I did, yeah.
Yeah, I did all book 2.
Let me move. Okay, my
So who
bee's
wants
a lot
to start,
bigger
Manic?
now.
Did you want to start with Levitane?
Yeah, we can do Levitane. I have her in B tier just beneath Hellbendy, which might be
Really?
odd sounding.
You think she's better than Yilger?
Yeah, I do.
Tell me about it.
But
Tell
again,
me.
so I mean, her main characterization occurs like in her bond with her sister, but like ultimately, them deciding like their love for each other is like more important than any fear that they have for Suitor is like the big turning point of how they're able to defeat him and stuff. So I don't know.
Do they
I felt
defeat
like
him? I forget what.
no,
do
but
not, no.
Yeah.
they don't defeat him, but they basically like allow Yorm and everyone else to.
If I
like,
recall correctly, one of them ends up getting their eyes burned out of their
Yeah.
sockets.
they do, yeah, but because they resisted him.
Yeah.
She
And that's
was
why
like,
I
I
have
won't
that
do your
character
bidding
in
anymore.
a high tier, and the other one.
I
not
do.
high.
I have. Well, yeah. If we're gonna talk about that, I have Lejarn in A tier, and then I have low A tier, but A tier, and then I have Levitane in B. I also I like her design a lot more than Yilger's, and like I said, I find Yilger annoying, and I don't find Levitane annoying. So that's my basis.
Yeah, I have a Levitane in C tier above Bruno.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
What about you,
Which
Shut Up?
one? Wait, which one is Leotane?
Pink hair.
Pink hair.
Pink hair. Okay.
Red eyes.
I get their pronunciations mixed up, so
Same.
I'm like, I don't.
That's fair.
I can read it and like know who is who, but then
Yeah.
I put her in high C next to because I know she gets she's the one who like suitors like haha go after them, and it takes longer for her to turn, right?
No, she turns
yeah.
first.
Well,
Oh, she does first? I thought the other one did.
No, the
Well,
other one
Lake
was.
Yarn always did what she did specifically for her sister, if I recall correctly.
No, Leitane's like,
Okay.
yeah, let's go along, and then like, no, yeah, she did. She kind
Yeah.
of went around with
'Cause-
Suitor for a lot longer.
yeah,
Right.
Levitane is more obedient of Suitor for longer.
Okay, yeah, that's
yeah.
what I thought. Okay.
I mean, they're both
Yeah.
very obedient, but like, what's her name? Like Aaron or Haver.
Yeah.
Her other sister.
Lejarn,
She's
yeah.
a lot more
Lejarn.
like she does it, but she's
Yeah.
a lot more like uncertain.
Because
Yeah,
here's
I
the
And
put-
thing.
Leviathan doesn't
I
even come
put Pink
around
Hair at the
till
top of
Lager
C.
dies.
I put pink hair at the top of C and green hair just below Hellbendy.
Okay,
B tier,
in B tier.
right?
Gotcha.
Okay.
B, yeah.
Now here's why I rank Levitane in C tier and Legarn in B tier. I put you guys convinced me. I had Levitane kind of like mid C tier, but you're right. I like her. I think her ninja art is one of the sickest designs
Yeah,
in the
it's
entire
really cool.
game. It
is
doesn't
very
even
cool.
look like it's from the same game. It looks like she's from some mecha robot. Like
Right.
it's
Yeah.
Like
It's
the
so cool.
Yakuza, like
yeah, it's so badass. Anyway, but that aside, I typically am kind of like neutral on the tsundere types. You know what I mean? Like, and that's very much what she is. She's just like. But Legarn is like she's a noble badass, and I think
Yeah,
if I recall
yeah.
correctly,
Yes.
there are interactions between her and what is Fjorm's group called? What are they?
What are the Niffle? Like the Niffle
Kingdom
Sith-
of Niffle, yeah.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
Niffle Lights or whatever their name is. I don't know. Muspellians.
Niflings.
You know what I mean?
The nipples.
The nipples.
But she's like, despite having Surtur as a father who's a tyrannical overlord and just wants to literally rule over everything, she very much, it's clear that she's doing this just because she wants to protect her people and more specifically her sister. And she's willing to be like, hey, if you let your arms down, we'll, take you, we won't kill you or whatever. And I don't know, I like that nobleness about her. I think her design is very understated. Except for her summer art, which is insanely
Which is not understated.
which I think is cool because it goes from one, the contrast between the two I think is interesting. But I think she's a great character. I'm considering putting her above Hellbindi and Ylgr, but I don't know. I'm still have her at the bottom of
in
B
B tier. I have her top of B tier just because you get I just love she's a constant through line through a lot of that book too, and her death does have consequences. Well, Hellbindi and
the way she
Ylgr, I love the
dies
dynamic.
is so sad.
It is.
Yeah,
Her death is
It's
brutal.
Really sad. Yeah, I'd kind of wiped it from my memory temporarily because she was around as seasonal alts and stuff, so I forgot that she literally died. And then when I was watching the little chibi puppet theater thing, I was like, oh my god, yeah, she died!
I feel like she's an interesting, if you contrast her to Gunthra. She's what if Gunther had done right, basically. Is, that older sister, watching out for the little one, does do a noble sacrifice, but you have so much working towards it compared to, oh, come find me up north. That was just a random plot point where it's okay, I guess we go there because some random voice.
Yeah, you guys have convinced me. I bumped her to the top of B.
Yeah,
ahead
top of B.
Hellbindi.
Welcome to the club.
Okay, cool,
Yeah, she's great. She's great.
Okay,
Surtur. Surtur. Where did you guys? I'm curious.
I feel like this is going to be pretty wild.
Yeah,
I don't like
to
him.
do with
He's a
him.
jerk face.
See, that's the thing. Is he's
Just because he's
terrible.
a well-written character doesn't mean he's a
The
good
thing
character.
is, he's the first true threat of the game, so I have to give him,
he is.
He, brings up the notch that I feel all the other books followed. I have him top of C, because even though, he's not great,
I
otherwise...
actually just moved him to the same place because of what you just said. I had him at bottom of C, moved him to top. He's despicable, absolutely horrific as a person, just completely irredeemable. But they kind of needed that,
going from book 1 to book 2, I think was the most drastic shift, because he just came in and just wrecked house. You had unbeatable battles against him where it felt a lot more this makes sense, this guy's unbeatable. He keeps coming back, it's such a long journey just to defeat him, more so than almost any other villain in the game, I feel.
Yeah, you're just constantly being pitted head to head against him, and you just can't win. So,
I put him in F because I don't like him. He's a big meanie head.
I figured
I mean,
someone
honestly,
would.
That's fair, and I kind of a part of me wanted to do that too. So I totally see where you're coming from.
And
because he is just horrible.
My tier list is entirely based on my
How you
first
like them,
impression, how I feel. I'm the feelings person rather than the story person.
Fair enough.
Okay, so it's interesting that I've heard what you guys have to say about good old buddy Surtur. I'm curious to know what you think. Where do you guys think I play Surtur? Somebody who's been playing the game since day one. Take a guess.
No, I am a...
You put him pretty high.
I want to guess
B
higher.
tier.
All right, I put him at the bottom of A tier.
Yeah.
Wow.
For the exact reasons you guys listed. I think he was a huge threat, a huge menace. I love Veronica, but she did pretty much nothing. She was the tutorial. And he was the main course. He's insanely evil. The fact that he was willing to kill his own children, that's
Burn
terrible.
the eyes out of his own daughter.
Yeah.
That's
so bad. And he murders.
Terrible. I agree.
That's why I put him in F, because he's a jerk.
And you have to realize what you guys are saying about how every week he'd show up and he'd be impossible to kill.
Yeah.
And he had this insane, I forget if it was weapon or his C skill or what it was, but it does 20 damage if you're
to anyone
within
even
range.
near him. Yeah.
Yeah. And back in the day, we did not have much. Our BST was garbage, so he was He's
was
just such
scary.
a memorable villain. He was in the meta for so long. He's probably irrelevant now, honestly, but he was even relevant in Aether Raid's defense for a bit when it first came
Like
out.
even
So-
last year, he was still relevant.
Yeah, and it's just like he looks kind of like, I don't know, like I don't really like his design. I think as a character he's so despicable, and I typically don't like that, but he fits the bill for a villain perfectly, so he has to be A
absolutely.
tier at least.
Yeah.
For me.
Yeah, you guys sold me. I bumped him up to low B as a
All
result
right.
of that.
Cool.
Oh, he can
He's not a
stay
good
in F
guy,
'cause
but he's a good villain.
jerk.
No,
Yes,
yeah,
yes.
for sure. Okay,
Absolutely.
so on that, we're ready to move on to book 3, are we?
Yeah.
So,
All right.
Okay,
Are we gonna start with the? Are we gonna start it right off the bat with
sure,
air?
air,
Yeah.
yeah. Okay.
Where'd you put Air, Toasty?
Somebody else go first.
F tier.
Just under Alphonse.
F tier.
No, you didn't. You
Oh,
did not.
no.
You did
I
not.
put her F tier. There's so much like coming off of book 2, going into book 3 with this person who literally does nothing as the main character. She's
What?
sad. She's sad because she's the daughter of hell, and that's it. That's the one thing.
Are you serious?
If you
She's
put
literally
air in
spent-
F tier, I'm curious where you put hell in.
Yeah,
oh my
you're
God.
okay. Here, like, dude, because she's her daughter, and that's it. She's literally died like a million times.
She's
Her
like,
own
boo-hoo,
mother
this is very
has
sad.
murdered her.
That's sad.
A million
but
times.
here's the thing. Here's another thing with book 3, which is just all of book 3 for most of the part, I feel. Like, they try and up book 2 in just ways that don't really work. It's like, alright, Suitor is really bad, so what can we do? Her mother killed her 100 times. And it's not her mother, she stole her. It's like, wow, what a twist. Like,
Yeah.
what point did it do? It made Ear like this broken character that really, like, stays broken and sad and
She's-
is upset at
No,
her mom.
but-
Sad girl hours.
But she doesn't stay broken and sad.
she
like
comes
despite
back, but, like...
I mean, that's the thing, is despite literally never having known kindness or what it's like to actually, like, be loved or treated well by anyone, she still eventually opens up her heart to, like, Alphonse and Sharina and sees the good in them and lets that kind of, like, start her healing process and goes
Like,
to,
here's the
like,
thing, it's not her fault, but I've been faulting the writing. Like, it just wasn't, didn't like a
You
lot
are-
of book 3 styles.
you can dislike it, but F is absolutely too harsh.
Yeah, that's
and
not
I,
fair. Bring
I
her up
think
a
you
tier.
need
Come
to
on, dude.
you need to like be
Yeah.
a little bit more reasonable in the fact that
Alright, let me
you-
think. I'll bring her up.
At least low D tier. Come on.
I'll bring,
Like-
you know what? Little Heart, so I'll bring her up to D tier. I'll bring her top of D tier.
Okay. Okay.
Because
Good.
she simply contributed too much to the story.
The
to
thing is,
be-
she didn't contribute that much.
She
Yeah.
does.
What's
she
her
does, though.
major
She's-
contribution? What's the big thing she
she's-
does?
So she's used as a trap, basically, to kidnap like freaking I'm trying to remember who. If she takes Kieran or if she takes like Sharina or Alphonse or whoever, but she kidnaps one of
Sharina.
them because she's been in your party. Yeah, so that's kind of a big deal.
Okay,
It's like
she kidnaps
was
them,
basically
and
like
that's
a
like,
double
actually,
agent.
I'll be a good guy. Like,
Yeah.
that's not that big of a plot twist. Like, it was just like,
I
But
wow.
then
know not, but
She helps you take down her mom, though.
Again, but if she
And I
if she
remember, like-
wasn't in book 3 at all, it would completely stand. Like, book 3 did not require Ear to exist. That's the issue.
It did. It
No, She
did.
moves without Ear. Hell would have invaded.
disagree.
She didn't like do the thing. Like, it was mostly the main character. Book 3 was not Ear. It was Alphonse.
I mean,
That's
it was,
true.
but that's
That's true.
okay. I don't think
Yeah.
like she didn't need to be the main character.
Like,
to be
she's
an
so
important part who
overshadowed
contributed
by other
things.
characters that it's like disappointing coming off of book 2. That's my thing.
Okay, I mean, I
fair.
really disagree.
You can
but
disagree. Where'd you put her again?
I put her at low A.
Low A.
Okay.
Low A.
Okay, we got two. You guys are like two. You gotta like balance it a little bit. It was like no,
I put
too high,
her
too
upper
low.
D. I moved her.
Right.
we'll
What about
we'll
you, Shut
balance we'll balance at the end. I put her in mid B.
Oh, you cut out.
Cut
I
off.
couldn't hear you.
Mid B.
Yeah.
Mid B?
Okay, interesting.
This is the most interesting character yet because we've got Manic, you have her in A.
Yeah.
Shut Up, you have her in B. Dean, you have her in D, and I have her at top of C.
B and
Wow.
B tier for me is like B tier has been mostly either characters that don't do much for the plot but I like anyway, but primarily characters that have a lot to do with the plot and are likable for me.
Yeah, that's fair.
I mean,
as opposed to
and
really,
also
like-
just a shout out to the fact that I have been weighing every single character's design as a contributing factor, because I think with OCs, like that is something valuable and important. And
They
I
all
think
have
she's
unique
simply,
everything, right?
Yeah, she's simply stunning. I think she is gorgeous.
I love her hair.
She's got
yeah,
the
so-
Ariana Grande hair going on, which is
Yes.
pretty cool.
Anything,
I love
if
it.
anything, I don't think that she should be an F tier solely on the basis of the fact that her design is terrific.
I'm not
So,
taking a whole
there's
lot.
that.
Her design also doesn't do it a whole lot for me.
Really?
Here's the thing. I'm bringing her up to D tier because I'm taking away some of my disappointment with her as a character. She's put an F because she was a disappointment coming from book 2.
Okay, well,
So she
let
actively
me argue for Air a little bit. Even though I have her kind of in the middle of the pack, kind of the top middle of the pack, let me talking about design, I'm not crazy about her sickly gray complexion, even though it makes sense considering she's been murdered like a million times. But I like her growth throughout now that she's like a living being. And I love how that's reflected in her New Year's art, where she's just she looks so stunning. She just
Yeah.
looks so alive and
more lively and
so
yeah,
good, yeah.
Yeah.
And I just think we don't get as much character development with her as we do with Fiorum. So I think she's kind of a lesser Fiorum, which is, like Dean said a disappointment coming off of book 2. But I still think she's had some character development. She's definitely better than her mother, who we'll get to in just a moment, I'm sure. But I think she's
Lord.
at the very least in the middle of the pack on C tier.
Yeah. Huh. I mean, yeah, clearly we just have very...
all have different, so
Yeah.
or are you? I brought her up.
Moving. So, Hell.
No,
Yeah.
not Hal. Let's do good guys first. Let's get to Hal last, because I feel
okay.
Hal's
Okay.
gonna be
So the parents then?
Yeah.
I
So-
guess the parents, yeah.
Axe Daddy.
in bottom of B.
Low C.
High
Mid-C.
C. High C exclusively because I think Axe Daddy's just... I don't like him. But I was mad on the bridal banner that I got Axe Daddy, right?
That's fair.
But Axe
That's
Daddy saved my axe.
Yeah.
Because I had,
I
at the
getcha.
time, in February, I had no good axe units. I mean, I had Jill. That was about it.
Yeah.
I had Jill
Honestly-
and Anna. And Axe Daddy came in with this near save, and he's just like...
Going
And
crazy, yeah.
literally, that's why I love Axe Daddy, but everything... I'm not a big fan of his character. I don't like
I
that
like
he's
his
just
role
like,
in the story. I like his role. In
I
the
think
story.
he's just the generic disappointed father who's doing it because he
Yeah.
secretly loves his
That- but I-
son and just it's the same old shit we've been hearing over and over, and it's like,
Yeah.
okay, he sacrifices to save his son. Oh wow, that's not something that has ever
That's
happened in
one
any
thing
other
true,
story.
but I did really like how the fact how he is like, Alphonse, you screwed up, I told you, now you're gonna die. And then he covers it at the end and steps in. But then later,
do you think-
when
here's
you
the-
have
here's
to
the- I
actually
raised-
fight him is as a zombie, I think was also a good moment.
That felt like a meme to me, but anyway. What do you think though, Dean? I raise you this question. Do you think that action was a selfless one, or do you think he was doing do you think it was because he wanted his son to survive for himself, or because he loved his son, or because he loved his people and needed his son to rule the people? What do you think he was doing there?
I think at the moment it was for Alphonse.
In the moment.
Yeah, the thing.
I'm
so
actually gonna
I
move him
just-
down to C.
Yeah,
Good.
I'm gonna switch him in Suitor's place. I'm gonna bring Suitor up to B.
I think that he's legit, and I understand he's a strict father and stuff, but it did kind of a little bit break my heart to see how hard he was being on Alphonse to the very end. Literally, his son is dying.
Yeah.
He's gonna die in a week. And he's like, you're a disappointment to our people. You never think with your head.
Then why are you rating him high? Why don't you rate him low? That's
No,
what a
I
douche.
did. What are you talking about? I didn't rate him high. I have him in C tier.
Yes, you gotta put him at the bottom of C, where I have him.
I'm gonna keep moving him down to C tier, I think.
Yeah, because
See, I'm putting him
the
below
fact that you
Bruno.
had him above Surtur at one point blows my mind.
Yeah,
because
that's
this guy
what,
has
I'm
no
constantly
plot
going.
significance.
I think what was I was comparing more I think his good points actually go more into Alphonse.
Yeah, like
Right. He
That's
exists
my thing.
purely to make Alphonse a better character. That's just
yeah,
Yeah.
pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, let's drop him to one of our switch.
And
I'm actually gonna bring him down to top of D.
Wow,
I've convinced
dang.
myself he's worse than I remember.
You know what? Actually, I think that's fair. I'm gonna move him down the top of D and bring Ear.
Wow!
I'm moving him down the top of D and bringing Air to the
well,
bottom of
see,
C.
I want to put him
Okay,
in D.
okay.
I want to put him in D, but as a unit, Axe Daddy.
Thing. Like I'm not counting.
Yeah.
I'm counting them completely within story, and not so much.
Oh,
story.
I'm not.
Also,
It's just-
keep in mind D for Daddy. Just saying, D for
D
Daddy.
for Daddy.
is a good
I
point.
Just
wonder
makes
where
sense.
Freyr's
Daddy's got
gonna
the
go. Speaking
Okay,
of
well,
D,
should we go on
okay.
to Mommy?
Oh,
Alphonse
Henriette, yeah.
I put her right below him because she just is there. Also,
No.
I have her mid C. I have her below Niffle just because she's not like that. Like she doesn't do a whole lot, but she isn't like offensive. So it's like Niffle's kind of cool, so I put her just below Niffle.
Yeah, I have her mid C as well. She's just.
I'm putting her at F
between
because she
for
has
me.
near save and she ruined the game.
Far save, you mean?
Yeah. She has that.
So-
she's the only one
Dean,
with that.
Dean, you're memeing on that, but that's actually the main reason I put her below Axe Daddy in D tier because she literally screwed up the meta so hard, and she's just such a nothing character.
Yeah,
Like,
she's pretty nothing.
Yeah,
like
she
a lot of
doesn't
my
do anything
characters
for
in
me
like
as a
C are
character.
kind of like nothing.
she's just
or,
like, oh, we need another mommy in the game, so we like people. Like, no. It's not.
she's like a little
not for
better
me.
than Red, I guess. But
Yeah, I agree. She's above Frid, but no.
I don't know what I'm doing with some of these. I keep looking at my positioning of like Loki, or not Loki, Thor, and like not knowing. I don't know. It's just so weird because my C tier, generally speaking, was like characters I don't feel like got that much development, and then it's like I don't wind up knowing what to do with characters who did get more development, but who I don't like.
yeah,
I'm like,
just do
well,
whatever the feeling is. Switch them around. A
Yeah.
little. I'm trying to keep mine
Yeah.
like not like super harshly, but trying to keep a little balanced, except for like S and F.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
So
I
Hel?
might move. Yes, we should talk about her.
Worst main villain in the entire
Yeah.
game.
Really?
Here's the thing with Hel, and I agree. I put her bottom of B because she like what I like about her, and I may move her up because of this is because she is so sinister. But she's more like a presence than anything. Like she's a scary, sinister threat, but she's basically just like as a character, she's bad, she's awful, and I think
here's the
as
thing,
a
she's
follow-up
not really-
to Suitor, she's like
The difference between her and Surtur is she literally is just she's the epitome of death. She's like that's what she's just doing
Yeah,
her job.
she is
She's not
death,
doing it
yeah.
because she gets a sick kick out of it the way Surtur does.
No.
She's not doing it to rule anything. She's literally just hell. She's the Grim Reaper. So it's like she has such a nothing personality. She has no development. The interactions she has with her daughter are like nothing. The interactions she has with the other characters is just like, I'm hell, I'm going to take your life. That's
I
it.
am
She's
death, yeah.
she's the epitome of wasted potential. She's F tier for me. Top of F tier.
I
Above
put her-
Loki.
Wow.
I put her with Bruno and Thor in that there's nothing to her. D tier is like I don't really have feelings about you. I just don't.
Also,
I
her
mean,
design just sucks. I'm sorry, her design is just ugly.
I think that she's
I like her glowy
interesting
purple.
looking.
And she's got
Yeah.
that
I like
stupid
her face.
throne. Ugh.
So I have her in upper C tier on the basis of the fact that I do think that she was a huge contributor to book 3 in terms of like setting that sinister tone and that really like dark sense of kind of like inevitable despair, like this
Death is
inescapable
inevitable.
force that's coming that you can't escape no matter what. Like
I
that
almost
feeling.
kind of wish it was something like Fjorm, where like it's not a character attached to it, it's just like this presence, and you like get rid of this sinister thing where like I'm death coming after you.
Yeah. The one thing that I do think is potentially worth mentioning is, so Toasty, you kind of mentioned that she's just like doing her job or whatever, but like she freaking she wants to kill every single person in their universe.
The thing,
She's like,
keep
I
in
am
mind, you
going
do go
to
to
kill.
an alternative universe where she just killed everyone and sent the armies
Yeah,
of
she
death
killed
to kill
every
everyone.
single person in the whole universe, leaving only Leaf and Thracier, and was just like,
No, they're dead as
sucks
well.
to suck.
Leif and Thracier are dead.
So, yeah, so she's like, she just didn't, I don't know, you know, like, I feel like she is more evil than you're giving her credit for.
Like,
Well, can
she's
you guys
evil
remind
and
me,
just
like,
doesn't,
where
like-
does she come from? Like, I don't even remember how book 3, like, how does that even happen?
Because she's like the god of death, and so the reason she killed Air so many times is that every time someone dies, she gains more power. And so the idea is kind of that she basically gets like drunk on power and is like, if I kill literally everyone, I will be the most powerful thing like in existence. So
Right, but why
that's
is she killing Air
starts-
over and over again? Like, what does that have to do with it?
Because every time Air dies, she gets
And
stronger.
I do agree, this
So-
is another thing with the relationship between Air and Hal. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I don't get why Hal's just like, this girl, I'll steal her away after I kill her parents. It's just like, okay,
So basically,
I guess, if you want to.
she's the mom from Tangled, only without any personality.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Kind of, yeah. But I mean, so again, since C is my, like, I don't feel like they have that much character development tier, I have her in C, because I do think that she set the tone of the book, but I don't think that she gets that much personal depiction beyond being, like, really power
She
hungry.
set the tone of the book, but I don't think she was like, I don't think she brought the main interest to the book like Suda did. I believe there are some other characters who are much more interesting in book 3 that set the tone.
Well, and I have them rated much more highly than I have
Okay,
her.
you guys have convinced me. That's a really good point. I didn't think about the fact that she took like literally every other universe. Like, that's crazy to think of. I don't even know if
Yeah.
that's entirely accurate because that just sounds so insane. But I think you're right, so I'm gonna bring her up to the bottom of D tier. That's
Yeah, that's where I have her so low.
that's a good point.
So,
I still think she was wasted potential though. I think she had more potential. They kind of fucked it up.
Kelsey, did you say, wait, where did you say you put her?
Top of D, because I don't
Okay.
think
Yeah.
she, like, as a character, she doesn't do very much for me. I don't really care that much. But I do like her and think she had, I like her design more than Bruno.
Really?
It has vibes of like anime Day of the Dead, and that's what I like about it.
Okay. I just
Like,
hate her
it doesn't
hair.
have all the what?
yeah, her
I
hair is
hate her
bad.
hair.
I don't like
I
the hair
don't like it
awful.
either, but I like her like face, like the weird face structure, and I don't know. But I also I have a particular interest in like the Day of the Dead art and the sugar skulls and stuff, and she has that vibe to me.
Yeah, I can
She
see that.
reminds me of some characters from like Coco and Book of Life and the character designs that they did that were more angular with it. And so in that way, I have more of an affinity towards her than I do Bruno.
Imagine that. Day of the Death and Death itself having similar designs.
That's crazy.
Imagine that!
I never pieced
But-
that together. What?
Okay, well, shut up. Anyway, Thracier and Leaf.
Yeah.
Here's what I want to ask real quick. Do you guys separate them much, or do you have them together?
I separated
I have
them.
them. I have them together, but I feel strongly about the one that I put higher.
Yep.
Okay.
Me too.
Who did everyone put higher?
Leaf.
Leaf.
I put
I
Veronica
love-
above regular Veronica, right? Like, I put them next to, but above their regular counterpart.
Wait,
Okay.
shut up. Did you put Thracier above Leaf?
Yes, but only because Veronica was already above Alphonse.
Oh, so you did it based off of where their other version was,
Yes.
more so than on
Yes.
them?
Yes.
Interesting.
Interesting. Because
Because
think
I
for
like
me-
them better than, I think they're cooler than their regular counterparts.
I think they go in such a wildly different path than their counterparts that
Well-
they have to be judged differently.
Yeah, so
I mean,
And
Well,
I think their original counterparts have more character development personally, but
same.
I just
let's
think they're
discuss.
cooler.
The reason
Oh, yeah.
The reason I feel strongly that Leaf should be above Thracier, at least in my mind, is because he is a more drastic departure from Alphonse's personality than
Yeah.
Thracier is from Veronica's.
absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like Veronica and Thracier, you can definitely what's the word I'm looking for? Like, conceive of how that could happen.
Yeah.
Alphonse and Leaf, it's such a just like it's night and day. You know,
Because
and
Alphonse
so
is
I
literally
think,
Mr. Goody Two Shoes for like the
right,
majority
and so
of the
I think
game.
seeing that he was pushed to a point where like that's who he became is really
and knowing
interesting.
what pushed him to that point is it makes it
like
hit
what
even
it
harder.
took. Yeah, and that it's just like, I had a lot of emotions about that. Also, even just like I think book 3 made me appreciate the bond between Alphonse and Sharina a lot more, and that like that was such a big part of what just like pushed Leaf over the edge and everything was like losing Sharina and
I hate a lot of the new stuff of book 3, but I feel like the original characters and where they went were done really well with 3. Like I consider Leaf and Thracia as kind of like extensions of Alphonse and Veronica, so they're like new characters, but they're also kind of the same. So like they're not totally new.
I think
they're
the
just
problem
pushed to their limits.
I think why a big part of why Leaf is higher than Thracia is just he gets more. He's able to say more.
He gets more.
It's
screen
not.
time.
What Manic said is totally 100% right, and she feels more like Veronica than Leaf does to Alphonse, and that makes him a more interesting character, I think. But it's just like when I think of all the interactions I've had with Leaf versus all the interactions I've had with Thracia, I can't think of really any with Thracia. I love Thracia. I think her design is incredible. She's so cool. I think she's way better in terms of like a meta, and she's just more of a presence unit-wise. But just in terms of a character, I think Leaf takes the cake. Like,
I still have him above Thracia, but I have them pretty close because they go through the same exact things. And the other like kind of important thing, I think, is they're another one of those characters that are a duo. Like their character growth is in part because of each other. Like they lost both of them, lost their entire kingdoms, and everyone was dead, and they like found each other, and they were two enemies, and they had to like team up because they were the only ones left, basically.
I love. Can I just say I love that like that pairing is such a fascinating pair. Like, oh my god, that's so
really
like it might be kind of melodramatic maybe, but I love that tragicness about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so good.
Absolutely.
Where did you guys place them, by the way?
They're both an S tier for me.
They're
S tier. They're
Wow.
my
S-tier.
first S tier. I had to place them together because they're so intertwined. I just think, honestly, compared to all the other characters, they just have such one of the most interesting stories behind them. And they're like further developments of characters you already placed in A tier. And just like...
Yeah.
Like,
See,
they're the people who lost.
I
I love the tragedy that they lost. And they're just like... And then eventually having to come around.
I moved my Leaf up so that he's separate from Alphonse. So I moved him hanging out with Thracia.
Interesting. I have them both.
Yeah.
I have them both in A tier, but I have them beneath Alphonse and Veronica because if anything, I view them. They're fascinating and they're really cool, but I think that their strongest asset in some ways is what they reflect on Alphonse and Veronica rather than themselves as standalones. I
can see it go both ways, but I have to put them at S just because it's such, especially like with Leaf, where it's such a departure from Alphonse. Like he still is Alphonse, so you can't say, oh, it's a reflection of Alphonse because it is him. It's like like we're following Alphonse's good path and seeing how he develops that way, but this is like Leaf is Alphonse's bad path. And it actually was a little bit of a surprise to me, the reveal. Like, I should have seen it coming sooner. Because
I know!
But then you're like, wait a minute.
In retrospect, it was so obvious, but yeah.
And you're
Also,
like, wait, who's Thracia?
Also, can I just say how like amazing it is in retrospect? Like the opening trailer for Book 3 was already insanely like, oh my god! Like you watch Sharina die, you watch Alphonse literally fall into a pit, a literal pit of despair, and then you realize after the fact this was an alternate reality where he lost.
That happened.
This was him becoming Leaf, and that's so good.
Like that scene just hits so hard. Again, have to put him in S.
Yep.
Because at that point, that is Leaf's fair. That is Leaf, not Alphonse.
That is very fair. Oh man, I'm having a hard time with this. I put Leaf. I originally had Thracia in top of B and Leaf at the bottom of A, but I had to put them together. You guys convinced me. Leaf is definitely above her, but I don't know if I can put them above anyone else because I love them all.
I know. Like, yeah, I have Alphonse, Veronica, Fjorm, Leaf, Thracia, and I'm like, oh, should I put them above Fjorm and move her to the bottom of A?
I know.
I'm like, oh, I don't
Fjorm
want to
has
do
so
that
much
either.
character now, though.
Yeah.
God.
That's so hard. Okay, well, was that everyone from book 3?
It was.
Guess so.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, book 4 time. So let's just start with Peony, I guess. I have her, so I'm gonna come out the door swinging. I'll say it right now. I think she is possibly the best partner character that there have been in any of the books.
What?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
No.
I do think so.
What?
Yep.
Okay.
I like her better
No,
than Air. I will give you that.
Yeah, me too.
I really like Peony. I put her. She's my
do too.
first S tier.
Wow.
I love her. I love her interactions with. I love her interactions with Sharina. I love that she has a lot of like forging bonds importance. I love whenever she appears. She's adorable.
I really, really love her interactions with Triandra. Their New Year's unit, I knew I liked them both going into that. I did. Because book 4 was complete at that point. And I knew I really liked Peony. But that, like, sold them both to me even more, honestly, like, seeing their dynamic and kind of, like, how hard Peony works to kind of, like, make Triandra feel more comfortable and accepted and loved and stuff. I just think that she's a good soul, like, and a good heart, and I think that...
You don't think Giarm is a good soul and a good heart?
I do, but Peony... So, correct me if I'm wrong.
I just can't accept that.
Correct me if I'm wrong.
I will.
Because I'm a little bit fuzzy on the details.
Here's the thing
so
with Peony, she doesn't do a whole lot.
All of the fairies were like in really, really, really bad childhood situations, right? And so Freya like scooped them out. And that was like their little safe dream world that they could,
they were in
shelter
kind of bad
Yes.
situations, like unless you want to claim that Sharina is incredibly abused child.
Well, no, I believe Sharina was the exception in that like she just kind of wandered in and she wasn't, they were like, how are you here? But yeah, so I believe like all of the rest of them were like had really, really hard lives. And so, yeah, it's kind of a cliche to some point, but I think just knowing that she had like this really dark childhood and that clearly like, you know, that affected Triandra and Plumeria like in really, really severe pronounced ways. And yet Peony is still like this beacon of like love and kindness and hope and stuff.
Wait, did Peony go through the same thing that they did?
I believe so, yeah. So, like,
are you
that's
sure?
Just...
Are they all connected?
No,
in
1
that
minute.
way?
It's a little bit different because keep in mind.
I don't think
different
so.
for her?
Because keep in mind, Peony could like go back and forth between worlds. Like
she could go back and forth.
She
Yeah.
trade places with Sharina a lot.
I know she would trade places, but like
I don't think
I
Peony
think
had
you're
it as hard,
confusing.
but-
Honestly, like I could be confusing this as well, but I'm pretty sure you're confusing Plumeria's story arc with Panny's. I don't think Panny had this abusive sort of childhood that Plumeria did.
I need
think
to like
they were
look
just
this up because I don't think they even mentioned
Yeah.
about Peony, but I.
well, that's why I asked. That's why I said, was it all of them? Because I thought it was all of them, but I wasn't 100%.
I
Like,
really
Freya-
don't think it was Panny. At the very least, it was. I really don't think it was Panny. I don't think she went through anything like that.
If it wasn't, I'll probably wind up shifting her beneath Fjorm, but I still love
She
her.
she did have an evil father who her sister murdered apparently.
Oh, Jesus.
Wait,
okay.
what? Who is her sister, Tiandra?
Let me find it again.
How did I forget this?
See, like, I was
Let me look at the
impression-
spoilers.
She's the cute, sweet, dream, happy. I like
Yeah.
Okay, here, let me read her story. Originally a human girl, she and her friends would often play together in the land of dreams and dream of becoming heroes. She became especially close to Sharina to the point they would often switch places with each other in the real world. Before meeting Freyr, Peony and her older sister were badly mistreated by their father, who barely fed them, made them dress in rags, and did not allow them inside their house even in winter. Her older sister did her best to protect her, and at some point she murdered their evil father. She was found.
Who
and
is
made
her
into-
sister? Who is the sister?
I don't think they say.
What? That's
Yeah.
fascinating.
After becoming,
That's
let
really
me
strange.
see. She lost most
What
of her
about
memories.
Tiandra?
She lost,
Was Tiandra
she
not the
lost
sister?
Her memories as a human.
Yeah,
No,
I
I
remember
think
her arc
Trianda
ending in a
and-
weird way.
I thought Triandra and Plumeria were sisters,
Yeah, they are.
but I might be
Yeah.
Oh, were
wrong.
they? Okay.
Yeah.
So they're from different families. I think they remember more than Peony does.
Yeah.
Yes.
But so anyway, like I was saying, because that's what I thought. I was like, I'm pretty sure she had like a horrible childhood and stuff. So yeah, I just really feel like going through all of that and still having like maintained.
I mean, but
like,
again, she
this
has no
uplifting-
memories of it, so.
I know, but it didn't even when she was young, she still had all those dreams and that happiness and would like. Also, interesting that she would switch out with Sharina if that means that Sharina was going back to that, like, terrible
I mean, it could have been
family.
different
Yeah.
at some point, so we don't actually...
That's insane.
This is the weirdness of Book 4. Maybe Sharina did
Yeah.
that on purpose for that reason, but...
Yeah, honestly, I could see it, but because Sharina doesn't have much memory of it and thought that most of it was dreams
Yeah.
and stuff, and you have
Because they would go
the
into
whole
the
weird.
More like a nightmare. Oh my god.
The other thing is that, like, since Sharina's like basically one of my favorite characters in the whole story and stuff, the fact that Peony is like basically a mirror of her and that there's very direct parallels drawn. Peony is almost like to Sharina what Leaf and Thrasier are to Alphonse and Veronica to some degree.
Yeah. I see that.
And I just really love her. I love how she reflects on Sharina. I love that she's as kind and sweet as she is. I love her interactions with Triandra. Assuming that they are in fact not related like we think, I low-key ship that too. But
Alright, okay, let's put it this way. How would you feel if I said I put a Peony in F tier?
Did you actually?
No, I put her at top of C. But...
Okay. Oh, thank God! I was gonna blow a gasket.
Honestly, I had her at the top of B, but you kind of convinced me to put her in the bottom of A. I like her.
Yay!
she's fine. Like, she's a good character. I think she's just kind of like, for me, she's that like, oh yeah, she's a nice character sort of character. Like, she's
But
good.
like,
I
the way
like
you
her.
just like broke down her history, I think that's a little more interesting, and she's very useful in the game. So I don't know.
She is. She's a great unit. Yeah, I love her, and I think she's cute as freaking heck.
She's very cute. Her New Year's with Triandra is very
yeah,
cute.
they're
Very
adorable. Okay, so which?
I wanted
unit?
to talk about Mirabilis next.
Mirabilis,
Oh,
okay.
you mean the most
Sure.
boring one? Okay.
Heck yeah.
I put her just above Air. 'Cause
Oh.
I think
What?
her. Listen, I absolutely loved her paralogue with
Linhardt.
with Lionheart.
You mean where they literally just sleep?
Yes!
Yeah, I mean, I think
Your
she's
mic's
funny.
going.
She's like a good. I think she's occasionally humorous, but that's about as much credit as I'm gonna give her. I have her mid-C tier.
I have her
I have her
mid-
bottom C.
I have her
What?
mid-C.
Oh, what? Mid-C. Okay.
Bottom C. She does nothing. She's a way. Well, she's good for Aether Raid's defense, but she's gotten in the way of a lot of other good units.
Wait a
like
minute, I got her plus
Legendary
6 for
Sigurd.
trying to get Sigurd. I'm bottom of F tier. Here, I put her one. I put her
So
one
high.
above Henrietta, just because I feel like she does a little bit more than her, but they're both kind of feel the same. Like, I guess
Yeah.
they exist. They're nice.
She's kind of cute.
I
I think
have
she's
her-
cute, but she doesn't
Yeah.
really do anything.
She
needs an
didn't
alt
need
before
to
A.
exist. I don't think. That's my.
Yeah,
Not
if they give her a
really,
a cute seasonal alt, maybe I'll consider raising her. But for now,
Yeah, that's
I also don't
kinda
like her
where I'm
weird
at.
hair things. What are those? What the heck?
Her puppy dog ears.
Kind of like, dude, they look kind of like Ina's slug hair. I'll say.
Oh no!
Anyways, moving on.
They're supposed to be like flowers, but
Yeah, they don't work. Out. They always look
Yikes.
like little like dog ears
I
or
don't know.
something to me.
She's cute
Yeah.
but boring. Bottom C.
I typically don't
Okay.
like the sleepy thing, anyways. So
Yeah,
I
don't
don't
like Linhardt
either, but
I like the
I just liked
well
her
enough to see
paralogue
other
with,
stuff.
or the not paralogue, but the Tempest Trial
Forging
with
Bonds.
Lionheart.
Yeah, or
Forging
the-
Bonds. Yeah, you knew what I.
Um,
One of those
okay.
things where they have
Yeah.
stories.
One of the 50 game modes. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Triandra and or Plumeria.
Let's
Out
do
of curiosity-
Triandra. I'm curious.
Yeah, I
what
was
you
gonna
guys
say,
think.
I have her high B tier.
I have her high B. I put her and Plumeria together because I feel like they're another one of those
Same,
that go back
same.
and forth. I put them above
Yeah.
Hellbindy, but below like Aaron.
Oh, okay, I have them above Lake Urine, but right above her. Like it's
Yeah,
for me,
I
it's
can see it was
Triandra,
tricky.
Plumeria, Lake Urine.
I just
Um,
moved her from high C to kind of mid B.
Interesting.
That's
okay.
pretty high.
I
That's a
like
big
I like
change.
them both more than Peony
Well,
because I love her dynamic.
the-
I love their
the other-
dynamic with Freya more.
See, I put her in mid C. I think mainly because I like Plumeria so much. So Plumeria overshadows, for me at least, Triandra to the point where I don't know.
Interesting.
I had to put them together, I think, for probably like they
Yeah,
bounce off so much. Like there's certain pairings I just feel like I have to put together, and that's one of them.
I have them. Yeah, the reason I have Triandra slightly above Plumeria is honestly because like I got really attached to her dynamic with Peony, and I think that
Yeah, I actually didn't rank them. I do like
cute
Tiandra.
together.
I might feel the same, but I never got their duo unit. So.
I also
maybe
really
not.
like Triandra's design a lot. I'll say it.
Yeah, I think she looks really beautiful, TBH.
I love like the
Triandra's-
tiers sort of thing going on.
It is pretty nice. Yeah, I agree. Speaking of amazing designs, though,
Plumeria.
the hottest fairy, and I think her
Yes.
dynamic, her character is so fascinating because I never would have expected they literally
That's
put in
true.
a character that is like, look,
Dude,
all you
like,
bastards are thirsty. It's so clever, and the way they handle it,
That's so good.
the way they handle it actually works.
is
It's
kinda
effective
true,
in
yeah.
a story manner. It's amazing.
Yeah.
That was
I put her
a
in A
good
tier.
point.
I think she's incredible.
I
She
put
is.
her just under Leaf and Preseer.
Interesting. Wow. Huh.
Uh,
Fascinating.
Now,
because
the difference.
she's hot. 2,
Yeah.
I like her story. 3, I love her dialogue with Sita in their duo unit.
Oh, that was very cute. Yeah,
Yes.
her Sita paralogue dialogue was actually very cute too.
It's hilarious.
I did.
I love it.
And I actually, this is why I think you guys might judge me a little bit. I actually put her mid A tier above
Oh.
Panny, Thrasier,
Oh!
Leaf, and Bjorn. I think she's an amazing character.
You know what? That's
I
can see it. I can see it. I'm not offended.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's
It's
like
like-
I
Plumeria
put her
especially is very complex. I think so.
Yes, absolutely. Like everything you said about Panny that I completely forgot about, I feel the same exact way for Plumeria. I think she's just like a character I never expected them to create. And I think in terms of like a unit, she's one of my best units ever. And it took me so damn long to get here. And it actually paid off. So I just love her. Like,
I'm
in every
actually,
sense.
the more you talk about her, I'm actually gonna move her to bottom of A.
Okay. Cool.
I actually, during the course of all of this, just as a side fact, I have wound up bumping Air down a little bit.
Where'd you put her from? From where to where?
I originally had her in low A. She's in high B
Okay.
now. So that, I guess, was my compromise on her. But I now have Triandra and Plumeria above her as the tippy top of B. I can certainly see an argument for low A for them. I think that's completely reasonable.
Yeah.
I think they're good. So like, I do think like I
Yeah.
have a position now where like Plumeria is like top, or Triandra's top of B tier and Plumeria's bottom B tier. I think there is enough of
I
a
think
difference.
I honestly have to go back and figure out what I missed with Triandra because I must have been so invested.
I don't think she
that I
doesn't have
completely-
as much, but it's more the dynamic.
Yeah,
Yeah.
maybe.
They have a
She
really
always
good-
just felt. I don't know.
I feel like it's kind of like some of the other like sister characters where one sister shines and the other sister is still good but not
Yeah, a little bit.
as
But
good.
that's the interesting thing is like you guys talk about the dynamic between her and Plumeria. I don't see that. I see Triandra as having a dynamic with Panny. She's the anti-Panny.
Yeah.
Whereas Plumeria shines as her own character, which is like I
That's
don't know, I
true,
just
but
find it way more
Plumeria and
interesting.
Triandra like bounce off each other a lot, and they're there a lot with Freya. Like they're like the core family, while like at the time like Peony's kind of off, like being the rebellious child.
Yeah. And it's just so good that like her power stems from what she hates the most, which is people being
Yeah,
thirsty
right.
for her. It's so
She's
clever.
really
I love
powerful
it.
in Fire Emblem Heroes, then.
Yeah.
Because of all the thirst there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are we ready to move to Freyr and then Freya?
Yeah,
Freya.
place them both.
Da.
Place them both.
Easiest,
Okay, yeah.
easiest
I have them
decision
placed.
in the
C,
entire.
dab, 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 dab,
Yeah.
dab, dab.
I need to think where to
I
put
have-
Freyr.
Yeah, he's a little bit trickier.
Well, his name starts with an F. Just
Oh my god,
You
I
read
didn't put
my
him in
mind,
F.
sir.
I didn't put him in F.
yeah. Right
Okay,
now,
I'm happy
he's
with
in a
that.
battle.
And then,
He's in a battle with Loki for worst character for me.
Lord. Okay, I have him. So I guess, God, am I going to be the Freyr defender here? This is not what I intended. I have him in C.
I have him in
on
C
the
as
basis
well.
that
Why?
that I
Why?
feel pretty, because one of his only characterizations that we get is that he was super kind and loving to Freya when she was being bullied.
That's the thing. Like, like it's hard because
yeah.
I'll be fair. It's not in the game that much, but he's like such like supposed to be like, because he's short. He's in the game so short, and then he sacrifices himself off. But he's such like his backstory is he's such like a good like person basically.
Kind, yeah.
That Freya is willing to go through all this for him, and that when she loses him, she basically starts going insane.
Okay.
Yeah.
Before I
There's
make
some
my argument as to
subjects,
why Freyr is F tier, shut up. Do you have anything to say about Freya?
I think his design is atrocious.
Thank you. Where did
Just
you put him?
absolutely. I put him above Suitor, but for different reasons that I
Right.
hate them both.
So
Suitor was
what about
more
his
that
speech
he is.
design, though?
Suitor is just such a good evil person that he had to be an F tier for me. But I have different criteria than you guys do for the tiers.
Yeah.
Right.
But Freyr, I think, is more of a genuine, like, I do not care about this guy. I think his relationship with Freya is creepy.
That's not his fault, though.
It's creepy.
It's creepy.
I mean, if you're
and
gonna
it's
fault
not-
him,
but
then it's
creepy.
Freya's fault more than his.
You know why I
No,
don't
no,
fault? No, you know
No.
why I don't fault her?
Hold.
Because she's hot and he's not.
That's the thing. He doesn't. That's the thing, though. He doesn't reciprocate. It's her being obsessed with him, not the other way around.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, let me break down exactly why I despise this character with a
Oh, boy.
passion. First off, shut up, nailed it on the head. He looks dumb as hell. The giant butterfly thing, the goat horns, looks, the color scheme of like his hair.
His color
oh my
scheme's
god.
pretty bad.
And when he
Even,
transforms,
are
he
you,
looks
like,
okay.
do you think feel the same way
I
about
agree.
his like summer design though, where they kind of flesh it out more and do less stylized?
yeah, his summer design isn't that bad, but his main
No.
design.
That's why I
But-
think like once you see it in
oh,
the
God.
summer design, I feel like you see more like, okay, that's how he kind of looks. So that's
at
why
least
like
he's
I don't
buff.
think he's
Okay.
That's why it helped his design at least a little bit for me. It's like
Okay,
you got to see
so-
him with his eyes open. It's like, okay, he's a little bit better.
Right, that's true. Okay, so breaking it down even further. So his design, complete garbage. As soon as I saw him, I was like, oh my god, I already hate this character. When we interact with him, he offers nothing. He's not interesting, he's not funny, he's not clever, he's not smart, he's just he's a character that exists purely for Freya. And I love Freya, so you would think, oh yeah, I appreciate this character, but no. Why Freya has elements to her that are really bad that make me really sad for her is because, and I know this is gonna sound kind of weird, but because he defended her as a child or whatever, and she ended up getting, I don't know if I want to call it a brother complex necessarily. That upsets me a lot. I hope that's not what it is. But she became possessive of him and obsessive of him because of that reason. And it may not be necessarily his fault. He was just being a good person defending her. But the reason that her as a character kind of struggles and suffers and is weak is because of his existence.
Right.
Yeah.
So I
you-
just
you
That's
despise
like
hate
you would
him.
never have a Freya though without
Right.
a Freya.
Yes, you would.
Like if she just wouldn't have come around, you wouldn't have seen all that.
There'd be
she
some
could
reason
still
for it.
be hot.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
just the
I mean-
main reason is
Look,
she's
Freya
hot and
gave
he's
her the
not.
self-confidence to become hot. So really, it's his fault that Freya is so hot.
No, I refuse to believe
Here's
that.
the thing,
I don't
like
think that
I'm
for a
fine with
second.
him enough. I'm not going to go to bat for him. I like him more than
Yeah.
Mirabilis. Just because,
He just
like,
makes me mad in terms of his design and him as a character and what he's done to my spoilers, favorite character on this list.
Yeah, I mean, I see what you're coming from. It's basically like, even though it wasn't his fault, you still can't forgive him for the pain that he put Freya
Correct,
through.
yes.
Basically.
Again, it's
Yeah.
like
But
no, it's not his fault. It's the
get-
bully's fault that happened. He did not put her through that. What he defended?
Well, we
her.
don't
I
have-
can't blame him for dressing himself, so...
God, his design is just
Fair.
so ugly. So ugly.
Yeah, of
Like,
these
it's-
characters,
you
he
have
probably
these
has the ugliest
warm-
that we're looking at.
Oh,
Well,
it's not
Yeah,
even
I
close.
would
no,
agree.
no, no.
All the
Second,
characters have great designs.
second ugliest. Second ugliest. We'll get to the ugliest.
You know what?
Most
No, I think it's the
terrible.
ugliest design. Ugliest design.
At least he doesn't have
Ugliest
hair
design.
coming out of his horns. I mean, what? Oh!
We haven't. Okay, spoilers. We haven't gotten that far, but you might be
Oh my
right. You
God.
might be onto something.
Okay, so let's just say it. Freya, I have her at top of
tier.
S tier.
Yeah.
S tier.
Bottom of S tier.
If there was a
Bottom of S tier!
Here's what I'll say this. I love her design, but she's only kind of interesting as a character, so I think it makes bottom
What?
sense.
That's
Only
fair.
kind of interesting?
Okay.
Only kind of
No.
interesting.
I
No,
will
no, no,
defend
no, no,
him
no.
by saying that's fair.
Yeah, it's
It's not fair.
Compared
It's not
to
fair.
It's not
listen,
fair.
well,
Compared
remember
to so
he
many
put
of the
he
others.
put Leaf and 3-Seer in S.
yeah. Those are my two S. Followed like
Yeah.
Haugen. Like I like her better than Alphonse. I think her character's great. There's some little like the writing of book 4 had a little bit of weirdness to it, to the point where you're like I don't even know what's going on at times. But like I like her. But again, you talk about her. She does have some major flaws. They're kind of like like her brother complex is kind of like I don't really see why.
I mean, I see why, though. I do see why.
The whole like, oh, he defended me once is like, okay.
And it wasn't just once, though. It was like she was repeatedly bullied constantly as a child, and he was the only one who ever stuck up
Yeah, but
for
then
her.
she also got Plumeria and Triandra Peony and like literally like never grew off past the Freyr thing.
Right. I mean, yeah, she didn't
Here's
really
the
get
thing.
over it.
Here's the
That's
thing.
true.
Like, I'm not saying like I hate like think her character is blah or anything because she's still S tier for me. Just like compared to like battling out in S tier compared to like what Leaf and Thracier went to, I don't think it's top.
I mean, she did not suffer as much as them.
It doesn't
I
need
would
to
agree
suffer,
with
but
you.
just even growth in general. Like there was some
Yeah,
weird like Freya had a bit more like throughout the story some more like rough bumpy like okay I guess sort of moments.
Well, she comes around so much at the end, though. I mean, she basically, like, the last part of the story is her dying to set Plumeria and Triandra free because she's come to realize that, like, even though she always told herself that she, like, forbid herself to be capable of loving anyone else, like, she kind of begrudgingly has realized that she did come to love them and that, like, she'd rather that they be happy than
Oh
that
yeah, and
she
I agree.
just,
That's
like,
a great part for
continue.
her, and
I
that's
think-
since she's still an S and it's not dropping A or anything.
Yeah, I think Manic, you bring up an incredible point and a big reason why she is, in my mind, the best villain in the game. She actually has an arc. She actually grows.
Yeah.
She's not just. She
Yeah.
doesn't just die a villain like literally
And she's
every
not
other
evil.
villain.
Yeah, she's not
She's not
evil
evil.
for the sake
Yeah.
of being evil. She's not some force of evil that is required to be evil.
Yep.
She
Exactly.
has
She didn't
a
become
reason.
evil because she's evil.
I
She,
agree.
became
She is
she's
evil
the
by
because-
far
Disney remake
the best
villain
villain.
done right.
She is
Right.
by far the best villain of the.
She's the Disney remakes villain done right.
No,
the sympathetic
don't ruin
villain
it.
done right.
Stop! Just stop it!
I said done right.
I see where Dean is coming from, and I agree. There's so much potential with her character. She's such a fascinating character in so many ways, and I think they kind of blundered a bit, but I don't put that against the character. I think the character is still incredible, and there's a lot of good there and a lot of potential.
Hence why I still have her at low S. If they just didn't stumble a little bit, then she might be
Yeah.
top of S. But
Okay.
then I'm gonna put her at top of S.
Yeah,
Best
that's
best
fair.
design
I
though.
can
as I said, best
Unrelated.
Yeah,
to-
best design
Yeah.
of the game.
Okay. Related to her design.
Easy.
Related to her
Yes.
design.
Yes.
So you guys were making fun of me for liking Prid's frosted tips when Freya has almost the same color scheme with her hair going on, except her tips are longer.
But
Yeah.
she has ombre hair. It's not frosted tips.
yeah.
Correct. Yeah,
It's-
it's completely different.
Nice
Yeah,
try.
it's,
You know, the
Bring
associate.
Crid
Okay.
back to D tier.
But can we just I feel like we need to talk about her design. It's so
She's
Is
gorgeous.
stunning and like
One thing I
there's
really
so much
love
happening.
is she's a villain that doesn't look like she's the villain.
Yes.
No,
Yes.
yeah.
Like you look,
And
it's
it's
like, oh,
like-
she's
it's
probably
like-
a hero or something. Like, it's like
Yeah,
no,
I
she
think
appears.
it's-
It's like oh, so good when she becomes the villain.
Yeah, I think it's very cleverly designed because you have parts of her that look complete, like she's almost like a princess type or a queen
Yeah,
or something.
princess,
But
like-
then
Yes.
you've got the red horns, which look kind of menacing. It's like, okay, that's interesting. The red eyes, and then like as she deteriorates into the villain that she becomes, it's just like her design is so extra yet at the same
Let's
time
just also
so
remember,
understated.
Like, the midpoint, like
Oh,
CGI cutscene with her, like when it kind of introduced
Oh
her.
my
Yes.
god.
So good.
Incredible.
Her like
So
smile,
good.
that smile.
The
Yeah,
smile.
Damn
The
smile.
I
damn
think
smile.
she's a great villain. That's like where it's a little bit like you feel bad for her compared to all the others. Because she does also have like this kind of like this air of innocence about her as well. Like she's doing what she's doing
Yeah.
out of love. She has like these children, and like you're still having to fight against her. So this
Yeah.
isn't like a
Right.
hell scenario where she's like, oh yeah, this is a very bad, terrible person. They murdered their children like over and over and over again.
And it's also,
Yep.
there's also the interesting effect of like mid-story, her actions backfire against her in the most painful way
Yes,
possible.
I do love that.
Like,
Like she loses
which is, like-
because of what she's doing.
yeah, because of what she did. And she's completely broken over it. And it's like, you don't get to see that with like any of the other villains. Really, the only character you see with have that happen other than her is like Alphonse, maybe, in book
Yeah.
3.
Alphonse,
yeah,
such as
and
maybe
it's like-
Leaf going up to S2.
Yeah, so it's like, it's very, I think people who are like, who just dumb it down to like, yes, she is insanely hot. I'm not going to deny that. Absolutely, it is a component of why I was drawn to her and why I get as hype about her as I do. But like, you can't let that blind you to the fact that there is actually like
There is a compelling-
super
yeah.
interesting concept and character there. Yeah,
I
because
totally
there is.
agree. And I think it was so important that happened because they could have easily just like written a nothing story, a nothing character, and gotten away with it because her design is so strong. But
Yeah,
they went
yeah.
the full mile, and I feel like she doesn't get as much love and admiration as she deserves because
Right.
she's so
I would
good.
agree, yes.
The only thing I dislike, besides the brother thing, about Freya is the shower curtain thing on her.
I still don't understand what that
I
is.
don't like the shower curtain part. I like
The
I
butterfly
like
thing
the
she
thorns.
holds.
No, like the fact that it's on those weird hooks. That's
Yeah.
It's
what
like
I
the
have.
Yeah,
same
I don't
thing.
like the
like
shower
that's just what they
curtain
wear.
part.
It's like what Freyr has. Like they
I
just
don't
wear
care
the
about
same
Freyr.
things. They both wear it. It's like, what's your fashion sense, people?
Yeah, it's weird, but we move on. We move on.
Yeah, we do. And, she
And
still looks
just
so good.
Summer Freya is the hottest character in the entire game.
True.
Possibly of any video game character I've ever seen, honestly. It is such a strong design.
I'll put her up there with like 2B and whatnot.
Yeah, iconic for sure.
Oh my gosh. Ooh.
Anyway, amazing
Okay.
character all around.
All right, so that closes book 4. I guess we just have book 5 left. That's it.
There we go. It's about family. Is that still a meme?
Okay.
Is that still a popular meme?
You don't mess with family.
First
Regan.
things first. Regan. Bottom of A tier.
I have her pretty close to the bottom. I have her with Sharina, I think. Actually, I'm gonna move
Interesting.
Plumeria above her. So she's bottom of A tier for her.
Okay, bottom of A tier. Yeah, so same
Actually, I'm
spot.
gonna move still next to Sharina by moving Plumeria.
What about you, Shut Up? I feel like you're the one who would like Regan the most.
Yeah, she's above Bjorn.
Oh,
wow, okay.
interesting. I feel like
That's
she's
pretty high in A tier, right?
Yeah, she low A tier, but my A tier's pretty stacked with Sharina, Leaf, Threeseer, Plumeria, Veronica. She's just between Veronica and Bjorn. If only because we see so much more with Veronica than we do with Regan so far. But I love Regan's hair; it's so cute. I love that she's a brony.
moving her down.
That's why she belongs in B.
I do like I do like because she has that weird horse mech. I like that she has the stupid horse tail. I like her. I hate her
go ahead.
horse mech design. I think it's. I just hate the mech design.
They're a little dumb. They're like standing in like this weird
They
cage
look so
horse
dumb.
thing.
They're like shower curtain thorns.
What
kind
is
of
with
dumb.
you in shower curtains?
The amount of dumb they are. But I love her design. I love that she is a crybaby. She reminds me of
Yeah, I do too. I love that she's a crybaby because I'm a
crybaby. So
crybaby.
much of Sharina, just in like different scenarios. I feel like they're pretty
little bit,
similar,
yeah.
so that's why I kind of put them together.
Yeah. Honestly, I feel like we haven't gotten to see enough of Regan for me to justify putting her in A.
I think we're gonna get. I think later on we're gonna like it's. She's been an important part of this
Well,
book for sure.
remember,
So I think it's
she's
gonna bump
also.
up.
She as a unit is also because I also judge these like based
Oh,
on
she
rank.
saves my
Right.
butt. Yeah,
She's
she
good
saves
as a
my butt
Regan,
as a
yeah,
unit
you're right.
constantly. She's
She was
probably
the first
like
mythic that you bring in.
not to be.
Yes,
Bar-
she changed
bar-
the meta.
Okay, so bar Ninja Lin, who was obviously like our free given out unit by voting, I think she's the best free to play unit that we've ever gotten.
Yeah, it was just give
So-
out.
Yeah, I agree.
For sure.
Yeah, so it's like, and I just think it's like such a blessing for them to give you something like Regan just
That
to everyone
powerful.
to use for free.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's a game changer,
Yeah.
and so yeah,
I
have
cannot
huge-
imagine Ether Raids without her, honestly.
Yeah.
She's just
No.
so good.
First Kanto unit, great. And
Yeah,
still,
I
I,
had her
think
at
the
the
best
top.
Kanto.
Oh yeah, definitely, absolutely. I had her at the top of B tier, but you guys convinced me. I wasn't really thinking as far as her as a unit. I'm not I like her personality. I think the way she's so expressive, and especially with like the crying, I love that. I think it's really funny.
Again,
and
it's just
cute.
like Sharina.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm
Yeah,
actually
yeah.
gonna put her above Panny just because I like her as a
Oh,
character,
wow.
and as a unit, she's like way better. I think. than
Yeah.
Panny.
I mean, they're both
I mean,
really
Phoebe's
good.
still amazing, but yeah.
Yes, they're
I love her as a unit. I adore her. But yeah, we just don't know enough about her yet.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and I can see her only getting better from here.
Yeah,
Is
right.
the thing.
Yeah, I highly doubt that we're gonna be like, oh wow, they took such a
Yeah.
bad direction with Regan or something.
Yeah.
Turns out she was Loki the whole time.
Oh my
fuck.
god, no!
Sorry, I don't want to
say
give them
that.
any ideas, but
No!
Cut that from the video, please.
no,
Oh my
look,
God.
if there's one character that could possibly be Loki, but we haven't talked about that.
God.
There's just one I
Yeah.
could guess,
Okay.
maybe.
I think I know who you're talking about.
Yeah.
Oh no. Okay, so let's talk about Fafnir next.
Okay,
Which
I want to
one's
know
Fafnir?
Older
Fafnir has
brother.
the yellow collar. Yeah.
Okay,
Yellow collar,
I get
older
that
brother.
mixed up because
I do too. I do.
I want to hear
I do too.
everyone else.
Just remember, odor smells like an odor. He smells like body odor.
Right. Odor's
the way
the
I
one that
remember.
gets simped over, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, stupidly.
Okay.
Yeah.
The most nonsensical
yeah.
simp ever.
Okay, so I put him in upper C because
Okay,
I think I'm having more fun with him as a villain than Hell, but I also
Actually, I just remembered something, and so I am going to talk something really quick. And this is going to be the weirdest justification for it, but that's okay.
That's okay.
Let's get started.
I think like just based on the second half trailer,
Yeah.
I think whatever the hell is happening to him is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't
that's
know what the
Yeah.
hell is happening to him, but
I
we don't know
think-
for sure yet. We think we know, but we're not 100% sure.
There's so much
Yeah.
like unknown with him at this point.
Yeah.
Here's the
but
thing.
I like
here's
the
thing.
mystery about it so far.
Here's what I'm concerned about. Shut up. I think you actually convinced me to move him from bottom of D to top of D, because I agree. I think he is a more fun villain than Hell is. Although I'm fluctuating. I'm not positive. But I think what's going to happen is
Right.
he's going to become like a beast, and he's not going to have a character anymore, and the true villain's going to come out. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I think he's going to actually end up lower tier for me as the story progresses.
Like a vessel.
Well,
A
I
vessel.
actually
what
think
I-
otherwise. I think you're
I-
gonna free him, and he's gonna be the first like main
Yeah.
villain who doesn't die.
yeah.
Really?
I
he's
think
gonna
I think
join
right
your-
now
yeah.
he's so under control of something else that
He
like
turned into a beast, though.
in the trailer. But
Right.
what does that
Sorta.
matter?
Yeah.
What if we get him as a beast unit?
Like,
In Three
I don't know.
Houses, beasts die all the time.
but it's also
Well, but
mechanical.
But this isn't Three
so-
Houses.
Yeah. So I mean, I definitely think, like, if anything, I expect him to be our second villain who gets a redemption arc, because we know he was a good person prior to this crown, like, basically taking control.
But he
over
looks
him and
so
stuff.
evil. He's
Oh,
got
I
this.
know,
I,
yes.
like, a lot of people
But
dislike
maybe-
it. I actually really like his design a lot. I wish his skin was a little less
I
sickly
think he
looking, but I
looks-
love his design.
I wonder if, like, when he's not being controlled, if his skin won't be so sickly, if it'll
Yeah.
look more like Reagan's.
He looks
When we get
like
an
a-
alt to fan, probably.
He looks like
Well, do we-
a Star Trek character.
He
like,
does, yep.
what's
He
his
looks
name, Data?
almost alien, Data.
Yeah.
Do we think he's actually related to Reagan? Like, haven't we figured
No,
out
they're
that
not.
he's not?
We-
I mean, we know
No.
already he
But
was
I just
not,
more
and now
mean,
we're
like,
just
yeah.
starting to know he's from someone else. Because remember, he's their adopted. He adopted them both.
We're thinking he's related to the Asgarians, right?
I actually think he's related to Embla, is my guess.
Oh.
Could be. Like, he's getting, like, major headaches. Yeah. He does have, like, those sort of hair highlights, though, that, like, Alphonse has.
Right.
Yeah.
We
so,
know
I don't
he's
know,
from
it's
somewhere else.
interesting.
Yeah.
There's something with the boys.
Yeah, you guys are right. I think his like arc is gonna go one way or the other. It's gonna go completely like it's not gonna. They're gonna basically erase him as a character, or he's gonna become fascinating. So it'll be interesting
It'll
to see
be
which
Yeah,
direction
I think
they take.
he's gonna, like, we're gonna get to a point where, like, he's freed and he's on your team. Like, for me,
Yeah,
I
I think-
put him at top of B tier because I actually really like
Yeah.
him. He has
Oh,
some of
wow.
the most, like, from multiple perspectives. Because as, like, a villain, he has some of just the most savage, like, crazy lines that come at you. Like, wanting to scoop his eyes, like Alfonso shooting his
Oh,
eyes
yeah.
out.
Yeah, so funny you mentioned that. That line is the basis on which I moved him from D to C tier, because I was like, oh, you know what? I was so scared of him when he said that. I was like, I gotta give him
Like,
a little bit more
he's,
credit.
he's like a really, like, along with his, like, sort of almost not really vampire but sort of vampire-ish look, it's just this really
Yeah.
creepy feel. Plus, I think more than
Yeah.
any other villain, he has a lot more, like, intrigue going on. We're like, okay, something's happened to him, but also we don't know, like, his backstory. There's all this sort of mystery
Right.
going on. Where, like, I'm more
Questions,
intrigued
yeah.
in, like, what's happening with him compared to, like, Freyr, who's, like, this just, like, evil force.
Yeah, now that you mention it, he kind of gives me like, this is very cursed. He gives me Twink Surtur vibes with a backstory.
No!
A little bit. The fact that he's like, I will conquer everything.
Yeah, but he's got some sort of like, Surtur didn't have any mystery. He just wanted to conquer the shit out of everything
Yeah.
because he was a terrible person. But you know, this guy is obviously like, there's something going on that's kind of messing with his mind a bit. So
Right.
he's interesting.
Yeah.
I had him in bottom of D. He's now mid C. You guys totally convinced me. I think he's
Oh,
actually
wow.
good.
Nice.
Yeah.
I'm glad I
Okay,
could bring him
so-
up a bit. I feel like I'm the one who likes him the most,
Yeah.
and I feel a lot of people hate him, so I'm like, all right. So top of
Yeah.
beats. I mean.
It's just, I think also
Now-
he has the unfair disadvantage of being the villain immediately after Freya, who's my favorite,
Yeah.
one of my favorite characters ever in anything.
But one
so
thing I want to
yeah.
believe is they learn from, like, their story, right, and hopefully, like, continues to improve. Like, they learned what works from book 4, and while they're not repeating it, they may take some of that stuff over. Well, repeating.
Well, they
some
definitely didn't.
mistakes.
They definitely didn't figure it out with Odor. That's
Yeah,
for
I was
sure.
about
Yeah.
to say, side note, okay, like, I'm just gonna come out and say it. I have him at bottom of F. He is my lowest ranked character.
Me too.
I,
Me too.
here's
I hate
one of
him.
my things. I jumped so much. I moved him to F real quickly, but then I moved him C. Like, I'm kind of bouncing because the one thing I don't understand, like, I guess I don't really understand what he's doing. Like,
Me
if
either.
Fafnir is like
I
this
have
evil
no
and he's
idea.
following Fafnir, like,
He
here's
just
the thing.
sends for
Here's
his
what
brother.
I said.
It's
I
pathetic.
almost feel like Loki is Odor. That would be the
Maybe.
most like
Maybe.
because now that
I
Loki
thought you
you
were
know
gonna
what?
say which girl was
You know
Loki.
what?
No.
I have them.
No.
I have Loki and Odor sitting next to each other in F tier. So even if it is Loki, I feel the same way.
Fair.
I put him in D tier. I put him top of D tier, above Hell, but just because we don't really know what's going.
Here's one of the
But
things
I also
about
really
Odor.
don't care about him.
Well, the thing is, he's one of those characters that right now I just kind of love to hate. So I have him as mid C tier for that. Like, he's evoked enough of just like a, you know what, this guy's like such a little like this little
Punk. He's just like
that's,
this
honestly-
little slime ball.
He just
Like-
sucks. Everything about
Yeah.
him. His design sucks. His haircut sucks. His face
Yeah.
sucks. His personality sucks. The fact that Not was in love with him sucks. That was a stupid.
I can see him for F, and I might cut the difference and put him in D.
He's just such a bad character. Like I just
Like,
hate him.
hate him. I hate
something
him.
has to happen with him. Like something I feel is big is gonna.
I think
happen.
he's gonna die. I think he might die, and Fafnir is gonna have a character redemption. But there's no way this guy gets redemption.
Regan likes her brothers for some reason, so
She's just a good person.
That's the thing. Like,
Well,
I mean,
and
they
she's
were
very
all like
distraught
happy
that
together,
they're
but like
evil.
we know why Fafnir turned evil, but we really don't really understand.
Yeah.
Because I think
don't know
here's
yet.
He's just a
one
pathetic
other.
loser.
He's a pathetic loser. And
We don't
interesting
know
thing
that
is,
for sure yet.
is he's involved
he-
with what's her name? Well, I don't think Fafnir is. What evil witch
might be
girl? What's her
right.
name?
I think
E-Tree.
I think he might be in cahoots with E-Tree controlling Fafnir.
Oh, that's a possibility.
Maybe you might be right. Because but it would be that would
we
be an
don't know
amazing
yet.
twist. Because they're making it seem like he just like, oh my brother, I love you so much, brother. Oh my god, I'd do anything for you, brother. You're all big brother. Oni-chan, it's just like, shut the hell up, dude.
No,
But if
I
it
feel,
turns out
I
to be
feel like
Loki,
what's
that'd be
happening
amazing.
is like E-Tree's probably using Oder in some way. Like they have some goal, but then E-Tree's gonna be like, yeah, I've been controlling your brother this whole time. And Oder's like, what? I've been doing all this bad stuff. And you've been controlling
Yeah.
him?
I don't know.
That's not
It's tricky because with Oder, him being like tricked is not apparent, whereas with Fafnir, it's very much a plot device.
Like,
That's-
here's the thing. I can actively conceive of things they could do with Fafnir that would be interesting and positive for the story.
Yeah.
Oder, I currently cannot come up with something
And I'm-
concrete. Like, a concrete
Yeah.
thing
Yeah.
that would, like, actually make me care about him.
The most
Unless there's
fascinating
Loki
thing
and
I can think of is what you
Which-
guys said. If he's Loki,
Yeah.
that's
Which
it.
brother? Which brother couldn't get his badge of whatever in the story?
That was Fafnir because he's not related to them by blood. Yeah.
Right.
So, he couldn't get in there to get the fancy tower thing, whatever that was, because he's not
Yeah.
related to them. So,
Yeah.
yes.
So Oder's a character I really don't know where to place. So I'm placing him in mid-C
Yeah.
for now, and like they'll move one way or another for me depending on
That is so generous. That is
Yes,
unbelievably
generous.
generous.
I might.
Just based on design alone, like, come on.
I feel like you should be D. Yeah,
Come
'cause here's
on.
the thing. Fafnir is ugly, but in an interesting way.
Yeah.
Oder's not even interesting.
Yeah. I'll actually put him
his
in
his
mid-C.
stupid
I'll drop him in.
his
Okay.
stupid
Okay,
duck hair reminds me of like people like designs that I knew in like middle school, so it's a little nostalgic
God.
for me. in how bad it is.
Jesus.
Anyway, moving on. Let's
Alright.
talk
Yeah.
about
The Yultsin.
we gotta
Let
do
me
the other
place
three.
them real
Yeah.
quick.
This is tough. This is really tough. I don't know
This is
where to
actually
put
hard.
two of these units or characters specifically.
Okay, I actually settled in on that easier than I thought I would. As for this one, oof.
Wait, who are the three? Oh, right. I forgot.
Oh, this is tough.
Oh yeah, I think I've made my placements. I'm also just looking over my tier list as a whole now to see like
Yeah.
mine's
Yeah.
pretty
Some
well
of this
balanced.
feels weird to
so-
me.
But like I'm trying to like make certain comparisons, but I think
I
that
mean,
could be-
yeah. I guess mine is kind of, honestly, you know what, I'll leave it like it is. It's not the thing where they're all, like, there's an equal number in all of them, but you know what it is? It's like a bell curve.
Yeah, that's fair.
My B is the biggest, and then my A and C are beneath that, and then S, D, and F all have,
Yeah,
like,
mine
the
are
same
too.
number
Yeah.
in them, so... yeah, so I'm okay with my bell curve chart.
Yeah,
I
I
think
don't
that's
need it to
reasonable
be
to
too
have the most of
average.
D.
I'm just trying- Okay, I feel pretty
Okay.
good.
I'm
with
good.
where I
I'm
placed
good.
them.
Yeah. Okay, so let's start with... We were just talking about villains. Let's get A-Tree out of the way. Sure, let's do it.
I put her.
Oh, we're not going to end it with A-Tree? Really? Okay.
I mean,
No,
we
let's
can end
let's
it with
end
her.
it with
I
H3.
guess...
Let's end it.
Okay, yeah. Never mind. Okay, then Dagger, then.
Yeah.
I put
I
her.
love Dagger. She's so cute. She's hot. She's strong. She's funny. She's such a good character. A tier, bottom of A tier for me.
I put
Oh,
her
wow, okay.
just under Alphonse and top of B.
I have her in upper B as
I
well.
have her bottom B.
Bottom
I mean,
of B,
she's with
really?
some strong characters here. I mean, she's next to Suitor, so like, I feel like the B is like characters I still really like. It's just like Dagger make it some interesting. Like she's hilarious, she's funny. I love what she does with Alphonse, but she hasn't had like so much like the emotional impact so far for me. Of some of the other
That's
characters.
true.
That's fair.
And that's kind of what kept me from putting her in A, is she hasn't given me a moment yet where she made me like feel something really, really strongly. I think she is probably one of the funniest characters we've had, which I love.
I'm curious, did you guys watch the there was like some video that came out that kind of established
the Dagger and Not one?
Yeah.
I did not watch that, so to be fair, my opinions are based not on that, which I know did help them.
Okay.
Remind me what happened in it, because I remember watching it and I reacted to it, but I don't remember what I said.
It kind of, honestly, like, it just showed how, like, I think they were being pitted against each other by their parents, am I right?
Yeah,
like
when they were
which one of
growing
you's gonna
up
have
for,
the
like, the
crown.
throne and stuff. Yeah.
Which, honestly, as much as I actually like these characters, that kind of soured me to them a little bit, because I like the idea that they're just these, like, psychopathic Amazonian goddesses, and they're just, like, constantly trying to kill each, like, that to me is hilarious.
That is great.
So the fact that it's actually kind of, they really love each other, and I mean, it's cute, and I still love them, but I don't know, I just love the idea that they're, like, so...
I like the idea that they like each other well enough that they're like more like, you know, they're so competitive enough that they're like still doing.
Yes.
That's
and they're just so used to like, you know, physical combat that it's just normal for them. Them trying to murder each other. Like that's amazing to me. I don't know.
It's like not even a big deal in their books to some degree.
Like they try to
so
each other,
ripped.
then they go to bed at midnight in the same room at the end of the day. It's like, well, try to murder you tomorrow.
I think
so
it's
good.
hilarious that Dagger has this freaking like Rainbow Dash voice.
Yeah.
I
don't
hate
know,
the
it's-
voice. That's the one thing I don't like about her.
hilarious.
It's
to me.
grown on me a little bit, but I also play volume.
I also love that she flirts with Alphonse, and Alphonse is
gets
like,
so like
She knows Alphonse is not about it, but that's why she does it.
Yeah,
It's so-
exactly.
Oh my god.
She's like, oh my god, he's so mad, amazing.
Yeah, and I just love she's not the traditional like cute girl character. She's like shredded.
She's like
freaking
such
buff
like
as
a
hell.
Absolutely
witch
ripped.
type character. It's great.
Yeah.
It's so cool, and she's got the falcon or whatever that thing is.
Yeah,
She's
it's a
very
cool bird.
meta. She's incredibly meta.
Yep.
In a way that is not offensive the way not as a meta is.
well, that might also be because she's on an offense team instead
exactly.
of a
Well,
defense.
yeah, I mean, that's exactly why. That's exactly why.
Yeah.
I need a whole episode on why the meta sucks right now.
Yeah.
But, so yeah, I can see her at A.
I-
I put her at bottom B, just because like B and up for me are just like all like characters that have really good moments that I like really like them for.
Right.
Yeah. And she'll probably only get better from here, I imagine. So.
It's
And
either
not-
that.
Not I have in like lower.
I have her in
Same.
low D.
Low.
Wow.
Here's the thing.
Wow.
Here's the thing. I wanted to like her. Like after getting. Here's the thing with Not. She's one of those like disappointment characters. Like after seeing Dagger, you're like, oh cool, and like the dynamic between them sounds cool. But then you meet her and she's like, oh Oder, and it's like, what are you doing? Like you're obviously getting played. You're an idiot. You're supposed to be the like better one between you and your sister. And then like she's like, well, I guess I got played. I'm upset about that. And like.
Then she falls in love with you. That's what makes her a fun character. That's her one weakness. Is she falls
like
in love with literally human
everyone,
feces.
yeah,
in this case,
she's like-
Odin, which is fascinating. I hate it, but
Yeah.
I love it at the same time. I think it's
It's
really
like
fun.
I think it's really interesting rather than
Yeah.
it being like something that I dislike about her. I think it was intentional to have it be this incomprehensible contrast. Like they
Here's
did
the
not
thing,
write
like, okay,
this
there's
thinking that you would
there's
look
that
at.
contrast, but then like I can't think of anything outside of that. What has she said outside of that? Like what's some moment she had outside of falling with Oder and falling with Summoner? Like Dagger is like is a
I mean, I was gonna
personality,
say-
that's just kind of there.
Yeah, she's deceptive for sure. She's definitely ambitious. She's competitive. We know all of those things about her.
We know
shredded.
that, but
We know that
here's the
she's-
thing: this is a
shredded,
good
yeah.
case of where they say it, but they don't really show it that well.
No, we do
We
see
see
it.
it. We see
do
it through Dagger more so.
I mean, like, she did the whole thing when she first let us in, where she was like, "Oh, like, welcome you guys here. Allow me to like."
That's
like, welcome you into
that's
the castle
true.
and blah, blah,
That's
blah,
true,
and
but
that
she did
was
it because
all-
Oder told her to. So it's like she's just following orders, which wasn't interesting to me.
I mean,
But she had the capability
She
to
got
do
it.
it.
Yeah,
She's
she got
smart
away,
and
but, like,
persuasive.
again, like I don't feel like it's great. Where it's like, oh no, we got trapped
I don't
by
think that,
someone.
Well, she has to have some sort of character flaw, and the fact that she was doing what Oder said is not because she's just submissive. She does it because she thought she was in love with him. That's her character.
Yeah, like,
trait.
It's a character
like,
flaw. I'll give it, but like there still just hasn't been enough outside of that I found her interesting.
that's fair.
I think
I
she's
see
hot.
what you're
I think
saying,
she's
but
funny.
I do think you're
she's
being too
no.
hard on her.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I would not.
I know.
put her,
I relate to her being a simp. You know.
I had to think long
We
and
all
hard. I'm
can,
like,
yeah.
who ultimately do I like more, her or Loki? And I had to go with Loki.
What?
Wow.
And here's another thing that I love about the fact that she's a simp. She's drop dead gorgeous, yet she's like thirsting after everything. It's
Like
so
that's true,
funny.
but you
funny
can
and
only get away
ironic,
with so much of that funny, ironic haha. Like, it's just kind of like, okay, what if I just like, it's just take it
But
at
she
face
hasn't
value.
been-
It's like,
Yeah, you're
I mean-
arguing she hasn't had enough time to develop as a character, yet you're saying there's only so many times she can do that. So what do you mean? She's only
no,
done
gee,
Like,
we've
yeah,
had
I
her for
feel like
chapters at this point,
you're-
and it's the same
you're
thing
si-
over and over.
We've had her. No. We've had her for a couple
half
chapters.
of the
She has
chapters we
not
have,
been-
she's been in.
She has not been the central focus in most of them, and she has not been present for all of them. She was not present for our journey to this tower thing that we were just doing.
No, she's there, isn't she?
but-
She's with you.
No, she's not. She does not go with you. I don't think.
I thought her and Dagger
to
were
the
there.
freaking. I don't think Not goes with you. I think she stayed back at the freaking
Maybe
hero
not, but
camp
either
or
way, her
whatever.
moments, like, here's the thing, I don't think we're going to get to see a whole lot more of them. Like, there's enough characters that we're not going to get to see too much more. So, like, what we got...
We might
like,
not.
maybe we will, but, like, what we got, like, her big moments to shine, we're just kind of like, okay, I guess.
I disagree.
Again, I think,
I disagree.
like, the more I think about it, the more I think she's just there. It's kind of like a jump off for Dagger.
I mean,
I disagree. Look,
Yeah.
here's the thing. I have Dagger way higher than I have Not, but I'm still like the more we talk, I'm starting to think maybe I should put Not a bit higher on the ranking. I have her bottom of B, but I'm starting to like her the more I think about her. But I think the main reason why I don't like her is because she's such a toxic, god-awful, annoying unit in Ether Raid's defense.
Again, that's
not
the
fair.
real reason I had to place her, at D, because she really broke it.
okay.
She's next there with freaking Henrietta. They
Yeah,
broke
she was
Vanetta.
the-
They
she was
made
the
the
nail in
games
the
even
coffin.
worse. Like, that was
Yeah.
bad enough. She ruined the game.
You know, funny enough,
she
though,
kinda
Come on, guys, bring her down, bring her down, bring her down.
where I am in Aether Raids, I'm still having more trouble with freaking Edelgard than I am with Not.
Is it the Edelgard though?
Yes!
Like, that's-
yeah, you need to get yourself like a hard counter and just like call it a day.
I
Yeah.
tried. He didn't want to come and hang out
Oh,
with
no.
me because we were too
Bye,
busy
lad,
making
where are
fun of
you?
him.
Yeah, true.
Bylad was offended.
Apparently.
he knew you were
I mean,
talking
there's
crap
you
about
or
it.
no. So, anyways, now
rip.
that I'm not moving, where did you guys put her?
I put her mid B.
Bottom
like
B.
mid to lower B, yeah.
Yeah, that's fair. I can see the point. So, we ready to move on to everyone's favorite?
Now this was a tough one. This
I
was a
put
tough
her
one.
mid-low C.
okay.
Oh. Wow, okay. Just gonna come out with it.
Because
I-
I like that she has like weird magic. I love the witch aesthetic. I don't like her stupid hair thing, her hair hat.
hair hat, yeah.
But I do love her like young look. That she's just this disgusting evil villain. I love that she has a
I hate that.
gun.
I hate that.
And I love that she is like a foil to Kieran and almost has like
the opposite sort of power.
Yes,
as him
yes.
Or whatever,
Yeah, she is the opposite.
and I think that
That
is
is
cool
cool.
as hell.
That's cool
Yeah.
from a
It is-
story perspective, not a character perspective for me.
Yeah, I guess the thing is, like, currently, we know literally nothing about her motivations. So in that sense, it's like, I almost feel like she's the least fleshed out villain we have so
Yeah,
far.
like, and the one thing is, like, you meet her and then she just, like, turns around and betrays you. You're like, okay, I guess.
Yeah, immediately. And, like, you don't really get any explanation for why. We don't know what she's trying to achieve. We don't know Like, we don't know any of that.
Like,
we don't know
I
her
want to
past.
compare. I want to
know...
compare, like, especially because this puts up in like the midpoint of the chapter, like the midpoint villain twist of like book 4 and book 5. Like Freya kind of comes out of nowhere, but like it all kind of puts things all together once she does. And like there's this big like dramatic moment while like Eitri is just kind of like, I'm evil, I'm the bad guy now, haha. I'm like, okay, like she has some like crazy stuff going on with the gun, but like beyond that, like she could possibly grow,
Honestly,
but until then, she's F for me.
Yeah, I think Eitri has a lot of potential, and I say that as somebody who absolutely despises her character, mainly because her design is just so atrocious. I don't know why they made her this child witch thing with the hair coming out of her hat. It's like the most offensively bad design I could think of, besides the one that I said way earlier on this tier list. I forget who that is.
Freya?
Freyr, yeah. Freyr, yeah. No one comes close to him. But it's like, I think I could see her doing something that really, like, I think she's gonna have like a Pokemon evolution where she has like a time skip, and suddenly she looks like a badass, like, witch Corrin looking.
Okay,
She's
that'd
gonna
be
look
pretty cool
so
if she
cool.
suddenly went evil, but like that sort of thing. But like,
Yeah.
we don't like. I feel like we don't have a whole lot of time, or we're gonna get enough to know like what we're gonna see is like everything Eitri did, and kind of like that. But I don't think we're gonna get like to know a whole lot of the why.
Well,
Maybe
hold on. When did we find? Was Freya revealed versus when this new beast version of Fafnir was revealed? Was it around the same time?
Around the same time.
So I'm thinking we still have some time. I don't know. Yeah. It's hard to say.
But the thing is, you can't
I do-
look at the mid-season too much as like a statement of fact, because like we don't get like weird scenes with Freya where we go like swirling. Like we don't know what's going to happen.
Right. Well, yeah, and I largely fall kind of, I guess where Toasty said that I do think that there's the potential that they could do something really cool with her. I have zero sense of what it is right now. So on the basis of what I have to work with currently, and on the basis of how uncomfortable her hat hair that can hold a gun makes me, I have her in the bottom of D tier.
Oh, yeah,
so,
close. I mean,
I have her.
I have her in the middle of C tier because I think she's an interesting character with one of the worst designs in the game. I think she has a lot of room to grow.
I like her design.
She literally grows and is not a child anymore.
I like her design outside of the stupid hair thing.
Yeah.
Since I'm putting her down there, I'm gonna put. I'll be more fair to Oder.
That currently brings us.
Do you want to send each other our list, like screenshot our list to each other?
Yeah,
we
do
can
that.
do
Like
that.
you save download and we can like look at it completely because I did some changes along the way. So. Dang, that
There we
B
go.
tier stacked.
My B tier, it's chonky. It's a
My
chonky
A
B
tier's
tier.
freaking stacked,
Let me see.
Wow, you really didn't let anyone else in S tier. You were very exclusive.
Nope, that's for Goat Mommy and Goat Mommy alone.
Trying to
so
see if there's
interesting.
anything there.
Literally all of us have Alphonse as the top of 8
I mean,
tier.
I think
Yeah,
he's a
he
great
deserves
top of
it.
A tier. I thought about for a minute bringing him up to this for a while.
I toyed with it too,
He's the
but
one
I
that was
couldn't.
like-
I don't know.
I also bumped Leaf and Thrasier up past Fjorm.
Interesting.
I just like,
Okay.
as we went through the books, I realized Fjorm is still a great character and she has a lot of character development. But I think these characters are just more interesting and stronger. And
Yeah, in terms of their circumstance and all
Yeah.
of that. Yeah. Okay, so that's it. That's our complete, finished tier list for all of the Fae OCs. We would like to do tier lists again in the future. We know this probably ran really long though. We had a lot to say. Can you tell we're maybe too invested in this dang mobile app game?
Yeah.
But yeah, let us know what you thought or your takes and what you'd like to see from us.
Yeah, also for future tier lists, like we were thinking of doing like hottest male Fire Emblem characters, of which Dimitri would be an S tier, no doubt. But if there's any specifically that you guys would like to see, like get as crazy as possible, because I want to do some stuff that's like unexpected, you know what I mean?
Definitely.
So give us some suggestions.
We're happy to experiment and branch out in the world of Fae YouTubing. So
Yeah.
all right, thanks so much for watching. We'll see you next time.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Hey everybody, thanks so much for watching the very first tier list episode of the Goat Mommy podcast. We recorded this back in July, so some of the Book 5 placement might be a little outdated, but for the most part, it's pretty consistent with our current views. If you'd like to see more Fire Emblem Heroes content, smash that like button, subscribe to Sprinkles and Manic, ring that notification bell, leave a comment, and check out these videos on the screen right now.